Stardust needs to face me. Stardust needs to face me. It can happen on JStalk's stream. It can happen on Now Recording. JStalk is good because he streams when I would want to do it. And when Stardust streams as well. And he's around every night. Listen. I would do it anywhere, okay? Anywhere with a relatively neutral ground. Preferably not Now Recording, yeah. Okay, sorry, I take that back. But JStalk, okay? If it's Now Recording, only Matt Pitt can be there, okay? I'm not having the whole clown car, okay? Stardust needs to face me. This Xena and Poppy shit has gone on long enough. Stardust is trying to kill trans people. Look at this. Look at this. I've caught some of this Sunday debate from last night. I have caught some of this from the Sunday debate last night, okay? Stardust unironically argues. This is Stardust's argument, unironically. She says, well, Sunday, when you've done drama videos, they've gotten more views than my drama videos, so I'm not a clout chaser. Stardust, this is the only thing keeping your career alive right now. That's why you're talking about it every fucking day. Do not pretend you're doing this for victims, which you did pretend, and took $300. This is sickening. This is really disgusting stuff, guys. Okay? This is really disgusting stuff. Sunday mocked Stardust's profits for the night. And I believe, my understanding is, this is someone involved in this drama. They sent Stardust $300 and said, hey, oh, hey, look, you win now. Thank you for standing up for us. Victims. And Stardust is like, yeah, I just, you know, this is really serious stuff. Someone pulls that shit here. Any of you ever pull that shit? Anything like this? Anything remotely like this? It's an immediate, this is just content to me. Do not get that emotionally invested in this. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not your fucking internet savior here. Yeah, this is absolutely ill. This is disgusting. And to play into it, to not just shoot it down. It's like, you can't control who gives you money. You can't control why. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. But the idea that when someone sends you this message, your response is anything but, hey, look, this is just content to me. I'm just doing this to make some videos. The idea that you respond in any way other than that is disgusting to me. And it is yet again another case where Stardust, being the ugly fat bitch, is once again going to allow her to escape from any sort of criticism from a disgusting, emotionally manipulative act because no one wants to kick the puppy. Yeah. Also, Stardust trying to say that Xena and Sunday was associated with Xena and Poppy. Never been my understanding. Literally spoke to Sunday about this in the Discord VC when it first popped off, and it did not sound like he had any association with them whatsoever. So that has not been the case to my understanding ever. Because I just group all the I am transphobic, and I group all the transes with Sunday. I just assume he knows them all. I assume they all know each other, and Sunday knows all of them. That's just what I guess. But that wasn't the case, apparently. So, go figure. Hog bitch making shit up. It does be like that sometimes. Actually, all the time. So, yep, Stardust needs to face me. Needs to face me. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. You just debated Sunday. There is no bullshit. Oh, you know, Kuihman's just gonna BPD split on me and obsess over me. And he's crazy. He'll dox me. There's none of that because you just debated Sunday. There's none of that. That bullshit doesn't fly. Tweet at her. I can't. I'm blocked. Okay, so this is what I'm doing in public. Okay, this is how I address Stardust, is in public, and I assume someone will tell her. You could try to set up a debate through Nick Diorio. I wouldn't want to put Nick Diorio in that position, okay? That's why I'm reaching out to, why I'm mentioning J-Stalk, who I'm cool with, and Stardust doesn't really know, and now recording, who I don't know and Stardust is cool with. I don't want to both of us are cool with Nick Diorio. I wouldn't want to put him in a position where he may end up making Stardust hate him. Oh, man. Also, I assume he wouldn't want to do it. I'm guessing, listen, Nick Diorio gets like, what, 2K viewers, 3K viewers on his streams? He ain't going to host Stardust versus Kuihman. I gotta be honest. I can't see that happening. Nick doesn't like Twitch Bolt. True, but this is a rape review. So that's not really, that's kind of irrelevant. What about your gay husband Beckett? Well, if my boyfriend Becky wants to host it, he can. I wouldn't want to put him in that position, but my boyfriend Becky is welcome to host it. I trust his moderation. Even Becky, I would trust. Even Becky, I would trust to moderate this. And surely Stardust would make sure. Sorry, sure that. Fuck me, I can't talk. Surely Beckett would make sure Stardust doesn't feel uncomfortable or get targeted by the schizo digger. Shut up. I have sped voice. I just fucking stuttered and stumbled over my words. Firstly, you're getting... I'm way too... Listen, we're going to burn out of energy. Okay, I'm slamming my desk like this. It's fucking retarded. Okay, right. Look. This is the plan, okay? This is the plan. We're going to watch... Sunday, I think, released his VOD from when Malcolm and shit confronted him, but we don't want to watch that, okay? That's boring. What we want to watch is Stardust covering it, okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to see some Stardust thought process going into this debate, what exactly she was so fucking upset about, and then we'll watch the debate. We'll watch the debate. I think that's a good progression. Let's just get into this.
Let's watch.
All right, here we go. So we're going to watch Stardust reacting to the deleted Sunday VOD that I think is now undeleted, where Sunday tried to cover some of Xena and Poppy, however, quickly found out how terribly formatted, terribly written, long, obtuse all the documents were, how many documents there were, brought people on to try and explain it, and they did horrific jobs, and then he issued the very normal advice of, it's probably a good idea to seek recompense through the injustice, through the usual legal channels, before taking things online and doing media tours and making content about it. That crazy advice. Anything you say publicly could harm your chances of winning a defamation trial. Crazy advice. Absolutely crazy. I know. And Stardust takes issue with this, so we're going to watch some of her VOD.
Of my involvement, period, outside of being snarky on Twitter. So, you know, I don't like being attacked for being an adult capable of making my own decisions and deciding that I wanted to make some...
Oh, yeah, by the way, this is Lady Raincloud. Now, some of you may not remember Lady Raincloud, may not know Lady Raincloud. I do, because I have endless knowledge around very specific niche trans communities. No, I think this is more just from general Twitch poll viewing, okay? Unfortunately for the rest of us who do remember, yeah, so Lady Raincloud used to hang around in Chud's chat. She once accused Chud of having Lauren Southern on stream for a polite conversation. which never happened. And she's a minor DGG lolcow, if you've been around long enough. You may remember, if you are an old head, if you're an old head like me, when was this? This is, yeah, pre-Big C lockdown, isn't it? This here is Lady Raincloud. You can see here a very young, irrelevant Miss Vivian Wolf Freems, if you know him. Whoever this guy's gone. Lady Raincloud, a pegwaves.tv. I think, is that a pixie? That is a pixie. And that guy as well. Domi. So this was... Basically what happened here was Lady Raincloud is on this panel show. Yeah, Rally. Very young Rally. So Lady Raincloud was on this panel show saying like how evil and transphobic and harassy DGG are. And then Destiny does the thing that Destiny used to do, where he bursts in and goes, "Hey, can you back that up? What do you mean by that?" She argued there was nothing in her military medical training that suggested males have superior lung capacity and muscle structure. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah. So this person is like a total retard. The definition of bed blob, layabout, failure, freak. I don't care that they're a veteran. I don't do that gay shit, okay? All this retarded, you know, you've got to be really nice to people who join the military. No. This person's a freak. This person sucks. They're a bed blob. They're a layabout. They're a loser. They never have anything intelligent to say. Never have anything interesting to say. Didn't they stalk No Comment Chick? Who knows? I wouldn't make any firm statements around any No Comment Chick shit, because literally everyone involved with it is a complete psycho. Thank you for your stuff. Okay. So that's who we've got calling in right now. Can anyone tell me, anyone fill me in, what exactly is Lady Raincloud's involvement in this Poppy and Xena stuff? What exactly is going on here? Is this is Lady Raincloud an R victim? Is that what's going on here? Or personally, no, we won't make that joke. Okay. No, seriously, what's the involvement here? Does anyone know? Queen Bee? Or who else is involved here? Who else has been following this stuff? She's a former mod and one of the people Poppy hurt. What do you mean by one of the people Poppy hurt? How did Poppy... Okay, Vodka, this might be funny because you're a Sunday chatter, so you might be very silly. What do you mean by hurt? What does that mean? What action was taken against Lady Raincloud that caused her pain? I'm very interested. I just know that she said she was victimized by them. Well, we know that they've done other bad things, so we can just assume that I'm not saying it's about you, Vodka. So we can just assume that when Lady Raincloud comes out, when Lady Raincloud comes out, we can just assume that loads of terrible things were done to her as well. We can just assume that. I love it, man. I love it. Poor Lady Raincloud getting mistreated by Sunday. Poor Lady Raincloud. Oh, what happened to her? Oh, I don't know. We're not sure exactly. Read the documents. Read the documents. Hey, Gary, I meant to ask what kind of stream you are. I can't tell if it's just political drama or if it's ideological videos. Political drama. We're post thought, post ideology, post politics. It's all the drama. Post rational, all content. Yep. It's just wild to me, man. So we don't. No one's got any idea what happened to Lady Raincloud here. We can't crowdsource this information. Look at the document. Look at the documents. Look at the documents. Oh, brilliant! I love it. Where's Queen Bee? Where is Queen Bee? I need Queen Bee right now. Queen Bee will know. If anything actually happened to Lady Raincloud, Queen Bee will know. Yeah, I'm a groiper. Groiper, groiper, groiper. Was she thanked for her service? Thank you for your service, Lady Raincloud 07. She's not even in the docs. She was just a viewer who became upset at Sunday's coverage and wanted to come on to talk to him about it. I'm going to have an aneurysm. I'm going to have an aneurysm. Stardust needs to pay, okay? Her whole thing here is predicated on Sunday's treatment of Lady Raincloud because she's a victim. How is Lady Raincloud a victim? Nobody can tell us. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Is that not why Malcolm jumped on in the first place? Is to save Lady Raincloud from President Sunday kneeling? That's what started this whole thing off, is it? That's my understanding of what's been happening here. Yet we're sitting here and we have no idea. We have no clue why Lady Raincloud is even involved in this. That's insane. This is insane. I'm gonna Malcolm X. Stop. That's not funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. Okay? No. We're not doing that. Jesus. Stop. 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 God, stop. God damn it. Where did I... Oh, it's this one, isn't it? Okay. Well, I guess we should start covering Stardust coverage now then. But it's brilliant. It's amazing that this whole thing has been sparked by Sunday's treatment of Lady Raincloud. Nobody knows what happened to Lady Rank. Nobody's got a fucking clue. Intro, that was the intro. That was the intro, okay? All that's staying in, because that was content.
Some comments about what was going on after I've been silent for 11 months. As one of the people who was also
guys, look. Nobody ever comment on my physical appearance, okay? If you love me, you will never comment on my physical appearance, okay? Do not perceive me in any way.
Oh, is this Raincloud? Is this Ciara?
In the same way by one of Poppy's partners. I have a right to speak about this just as much as the rest of the victims do. Just want to get that out there.
Only the popped collar clients.
So anyway, and well, we can leave that at that. Yeah.
Malcolm, introduce yourself, please.
What's good, guys? FT Mongoose on Twitter, Goddammit Malcolm on YouTube. I've been following this for quite a bit now. Excuse me. I think my biggest issue here, one, and obviously I know that you're kind of dipping your toes into this, and you're not very far into any of all of it, is let...
I appreciate Hello's daily troll diagnosis, okay? I hate this Malcolm creature. Yeah, I 100% agree. Ever since I saw, well, not ever, from the moment Malcolm jumped on that Food Shops panel, I don't remember what it was about. I just know it was about Lolly, and I redirected it to being about Food Shops POCD. That's all I remember. The moment Malcolm jumped on there, I knew I hated this freak. And then when I started watching that Spawn document video, where he's sitting there going, that's abuse. That's abuse. Well, that's just abuse. Well, that's just abuse. That's abuse. Also, I see this Victor Burns retard as well. This is someone I see floating around as well, who's been getting involved in xenoproperty stuff. I think I've seen him on like Turd Island or some shit at some point. Another person who I've seen making this claim, repeating this retarded fucking statement. Look at the list of chores. Look how long the list of chores was. Obviously, people have been around here for long enough. No. We looked at that list of chores a couple times. And every time we've come away with the same conclusion, which is that it's total bullshit to call it abuse. It is padded. It was padded. It's like vacuum the house, clean the kitchen. That's it. But they have steps. They've given detailed instructions. It's shit like, don't reuse the same cloth for different surfaces. Put stuff back after you've moved it for vacuuming. Like, it's stuff like that. Those are the extra steps that are added in. It's like basic shit that you should know how to do. Who do you like more, Stardust or Sunday? Sunday, obviously. What? You crazy? You crazy? You crazy? But yeah, it's like basic steps that any normal adult would know to do as part of those jobs anyway. Kuihman likes root canals more than Stardust. That's fucked. Yeah, it's shit that you should know to do anyway, but listed out because they repeatedly refuse to do it. Yet constantly I see this Victor Burns sped, Malcolm, Stardust, all cite this list of chores in the same way, saying there's this insane list of chores. They had to do this in an evening. This is like a week's worth of chores. And it's like clean the kitchen, vacuum the house. And they live in like a small apartment. It blows my mind. And then Stardust will sit there. Stardust will sit there and concern troll and virtue signal about, you haven't read the document. You haven't read the document. How are you shutting down victims when you haven't even read the document? Stardust, you haven't done even the slightest amount of engagement, slightest amount of critical engagement with the actual material in front of you. It doesn't matter if you scroll down the pages. It doesn't matter if you just blankly stare as you scroll down these fucking pages. That means nothing, Stardust. You haven't engaged with the content. You've just taken the narrative that you know will get you money, that you know will get you views, because you're in a fucking corner. And like a dying animal, you're latching on to the only fucking slight grasp of hope that you possibly can to try and crawl out of this situation that you've worked yourself into through years of dog shit content, nuking every possible opportunity you could have had in your entire career. And now you see this one way out. And so you're just going super hard on it. And then you try to act like this. You can't be a clout chaser because, oh, well, I'm not even passing 3K views. Stardust, you couldn't even cross 500 2 weeks ago. Of course you're going to start going down this when you start getting 3K views. That just because you're shit at it doesn't mean you're not a clout chaser. Oh, man. Crazy.
Already, Sunday started raising his eyebrows. He's getting triggered already. Is this the VOD that Malcolm was looking for? Malcolm sent me this. So, this is only 40 minutes long. I'm so sad that this is all we have, but we will take it. Thank you, Malcolm, for this, okay? Thank you, Malcolm. Malcolm went through an entire carton of cigarettes during the stream. Damn. Okay. So we just watched... Okay. Malcolm said, I know you're just dipping your toes into this, and Sunday rose his eyebrows. I'm going to just rewind a little bit here, okay?
On Twitter, goddammit Malcolm on YouTube. I've been following this for quite a bit now. Excuse me. I think my biggest issue here, one, and obviously I know that you're kind of dipping your toes into this, and you're not very far into any of all of it.
You see his eyebrows raised?
is the lack of context, I think, is what is leading you to a lot of the conclusions that you have.
He didn't like that. He immediately got offended at that. I can already tell. Malcolm, if you couldn't tell, he got offended there. My goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna just we can have a cig quickly. Stardust gets me in that kind of vibe. Stardust got me on that vibe.
You
on that
may not like
vibe.
the chat, but President Sunday is what peak male performance looks like. So true.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, Sunday was being a baby the whole fucking night. It was incredible. Yeah, he hated that, which is funny because I stopped watching him last night because he didn't know anything about it and it was annoying. Oh my fucking god, dude.
I'd say Stardust needs to do less debates and more no limits cage matches. What do you guys think?
The video/audio is off because I'm stupid. Please forgive. No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
About not only Noe Flake's involvement in this, but everyone else's involvement as well. In the interview that Noe does with Victor Burns.
Yes. God damn it, Malcolm has a dog shit Quiggler. He does. He has a dog shit Quiggler edit. Yep. Look, absolute dog shit version. Absolutely mogged. Looks like shit.
Even if she was to take legal recourse against Poppy, nothing that she has said in that interview was damning or something that would compromise her ability to pursue legal charges by any means. And I will echo again that this is the only time that Noe has publicly gone on any kind of platform to talk about this. No, specifically has just kind of like let this slide.
No, I don't think he's trying to mock me. No, I think he's just stolen it. I honestly think he's just stolen it. I think he just smokes as well. Saw that I was doing this when I was smoking. And did the same thing. I legit think that's what happened.
Let bygones be bygones, kind of just like let Poppy do her shit. And it's been, you know, it's been since December.
Except for some reason, this ninja smoking through his fucking nose. Bro, I remember doing that shit when I was a teenager. Oh, man. Anyone ever smoked through their nose? It's not pleasant. It's very funny, though. Yeah, Buck saying yes, of course. Oh, man.
This image of her essentially with rapist plastered over the front of it, been spread around. You know, there's people that don't even know her. One of the things that Luxander mentions, I don't think that you got to it quite in the video, but Luxander mentions that this isn't Noe's legal name yet, and Poppy is using this to cultivate her audience and everyone else and their mom to believe that she's a rapist. So when Noe does legally change her name, this will follow her wherever she goes.
Not just the
sig. Super fucked up. She's basically stealing her name. Star, have you talked to Sansol about any of this? I think Sansol's caught some of it on Twitter, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him like on voice or anything like that. I hope to finish it today, but it was nuked. Yeah, it's so fucking wild. Chat, from now on, always download the VOD before watching it so you can watch it without them privating. That's true. Hi, niece. How's it going?
Stardust A-logging?
Yeah, I know Poppy and Xena went hard after Sansol, for sure. But yeah, I haven't really talked to him. I just know that he's probably caught some of it on Twitter, but yeah.
Poor Sansol.
So these are good points Malcolm's bringing up. Poppy literally stole No Flake's name from her. She hasn't gotten a chance to legally change her name yet. And Poppy has tied the term rapist to that name.
Stole her name from her.
So when she legally changes her name to blank.
So
right,
wait. But what's the allegation here? What does this is such a weird argument. So what, you can't make accusations against trans people who haven't changed their names yet? I don't get it. What's the... Or you're meant to dead name them when you do it? Should Poppy have been dead naming? Is that the argument here? It would have been better if Poppy dead named her? I don't... What are you arguing here, Stardust? What's the point here?
Publicly doxed the name that No chooses to identify with. When she does illegally change that, this is going to be something that follows her beyond that, right?
Sorry, hang on. If I may...
I saw a bug. I saw a bug. That's why I mentioned that as a possible avenue when I was speaking about earlier. So we might have a look. We might have a look.
Go ahead.
Clarify that a little bit.
Okay, sorry, let me just, real quick. Star, did you ever end up watching Luxander's stream on this? It's a lot of the same info, but the commentary is really good and insightful. I'm sure it is. I haven't watched it yet. The reason why I didn't watch it initially is because when I go over documents, I try to, I want to go over them myself so I can make sure that I'm not getting, my views are not being formed by somebody else, right? I just want to look at the documents straight, look at the evidence straight, and then form my own opinion. So that's why I didn't watch it yet, but I probably will watch it at some point because I have...
Maybe not for the best. Maybe not for the best, Stardust. I'd say stop trying to form your own opinion. It doesn't seem to work out too well for you. You've tried that a few times now. Not usually a good move. Not usually your best play.
Heard that Luxander's coverage is good. So... Hi, Nightmare Reaper. We're watching Malcolm talk to Sunday.
Publicly dox the name she chooses to identify with. Can you explain?
I can grab the tweet for you quickly. Poppy posted at one point, it was her full legal name in a tweet shortly following this kind of stuff, right?
Show me in DMs if you could.
Yeah, give me 1 second and let me see if I can pull it up. I can multitask quickly, one moment. But I think that like something that is missing kind of from your analysis of this, and obviously I'm not like shitting all, like you're kind of dipping your toes in. Like I totally understand that. The thing that I think is missing from this is the context of how far they have been willing to go in all of this as far as like slandering No. And to be fair, like anything that she has said publicly, I don't think is anything that can really bite her in the ass if she decides to go public, right?
Here with the face and the rapist sign, I think that's probably as far as you can go on social media. So I don't think that's even ambiguous at this point.
No, I'm saying like as far as No's involvement of like posting about it or bringing it up in public, there's nothing that she has said publicly that I think could be used to bite her in the ass in any kind of legal capacity.
I agree.
This is the first kind of interview that she's done.
You don't know that. You don't know that. This is why a lawyer would always tell you, don't make public statements, because a layman should not be, will not have the requisite information or foresight to know what is intelligent to share publicly and what's not. Huh?
And
this is why you get a fucking lawyer. What? What? Like, why do these people think lawyers, like, make so much money and are so important to these situations? Why do they think that is? Do they think it's just for fun? Do they think people are just tipping their lawyers? Do they think that's what's going on? Oh, you did a really good job, so I'm just going to pay you lots of money. Do they think that's what's going on? Or do you think maybe there's a lot of intricate knowledge that you need to have and experience you need to have to make intelligent decisions about what information to release, how to proceed with a case, what evidence you need to collect? Has there ever been a case of a lawyer saying, the best thing for you to do right now is release a manifesto detailing your abuse? Has a lawyer ever said that? Do you think?
Outside of that, she's kind of left it alone. She doesn't want anything to do with it. But at this point, it's like, what else am I supposed to do? Like this.
I should probably also post on Twitter that we've got at least part of the Sunday stream.
This is the thing, right? This is what makes me really, really quite... If I were the sort of person who cared enough to have a real response to stuff, this would make me quite sick. Seeing these streamers who do know better. Stardust, shockingly, does know better. I believe Malcolm, shockingly, does know better. Yet they will happily encourage the quote-unquote victims that they claim to care about to continue talking. Now, do they tell the victims and encourage the victims to continue talking because that's the best thing for the victims to do? No, of course not. Because the best thing for the victims to do would be keep quiet, seek legal counsel, talk to the police, talk to the licensing board, and seek whatever justice they can. That would be the best thing for the victims to do. But the best thing for the content creators is if the victims keep talking, is if the victims release more details, if the victims keep releasing manifestos. That's the best thing for the content creators. That doesn't really help the victims. Yet Stardust will sit here and tell you, claim, night after night, I care about the victims, I'm standing up for victims, why doesn't Sunday respect victims like me? Shut up. Jesus, almost. I wonder if YouTube picks that up. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. If you cared about the victims, you'd be telling them to be quiet, get all their ducks in a line, and talk to a fucking lawyer. That's what you would be saying. That's what you would be saying. That is what you would be saying. But you're not. You're covering it. You're encouraging more interviews. You're saying how great it is to come out and speak your truth. Gaslighting a little bit, you could argue. And then taking $300 from them.
Just fucking wow.
This person will not shut the fuck up about me. It's been like 5 months of a mental.
Yeah, it's literally Poppy has been nonstop accusing Snowflake of being a rapist for months upon months upon months, even did a stream mentioning it. And Snowflake does one interview after months of this. And Sunday wants to discredit her.
Breakdown on Twitter to the point where it's like at some point I have to say like, okay, like she's full of shit. Like I kind of have to say something publicly, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a second. Malcolm wants to call real quick.
Oh, great.
Hello?
Oh, boy.
What's up, bud?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it do be going. I just wanted to jump in really quick. So, I was watching this last night, and I was getting, like, bits and pieces of it.
Okay, Sunday, I understand Sunday's taken back this media talk comment. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. I mean, well, he can take back that specific comment, sure, but the message is still the same. The point of Sunday saying going on a media tour is expressing the fact that they are giving interviews to streamers for the sake of content that may undermine any real justice they try and seek. That is the point of the media tour comment. It's not saying, oh, you're an attention seeker who's desperately trying to get in the spotlight everywhere. That's not what he's even saying. He's saying, you by engaging in interviews for the sake of content, you are potentially undermining your case, and that is an unintelligent action. Which is just, you can't argue with that. If you want real justice from this, making content out of it is not the way to go. Obviously.
I was doing other shit. So what ended up happening was pretty much everybody in Sunday's chat was like, you're missing context or whatever. And so Lady Raincloud was like, I can jump on really quick and just add this extra context. And the reason that I jumped on the call, and later Melina also jumped on the call for a little bit, I was really, really, really fucking frustrated because what it essentially sounded to me like when...
How is what Sunday said discrediting? It's common sense advice to avoid this tactic with these things. Yep. I mean, yep. But this is the thing, is that these desperate freaks, these disgusting wretches like Stardust and Malcolm want to A-log this couple to death, who may well have done fucked up stuff, but they're desperate to A-log them to death. So anytime someone says anything that slightly pushes back in any sort of reasonable way or gives pause to the endless flow of information to try and destroy these people, they have to try and shut them down. They have to use every bad faith, concern trolling tactic they possibly can fucking come up with. Every bit of emotional manipulation Stardust has learned in a relationship with Beckett. Every last little bit. She has to employ it and try and get their way. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. There is no real principle here. There is no quote-unquote care for victims like they claim. It's pure content, but they claim it's not. I'm perfectly happy to sit here and say, cynically, this is all content. I don't give a fuck about anyone I'm covering. That means that you don't get $300 donations from victims saying, thank you for standing up for us. That's what that means. You accept that. But it also means you don't get to concern troll. Like Stardust does. And she is just doing it for content. Yeah, exactly. Like Mama Max getting fucking $15,000 a month claiming to fight for child abuse victims, right? It's just the most sickening grift. It is the most sickening grift. It is like, oh, you've been raped? You got raped as a kid? I can help you. Give me your money. I'm fighting for you, raped child. Now just give me you go find your mom's credit card. Give me the digits on the front and the 3 wacky numbers on the back. Guys, I'm fighting for abused white boys. Give me 80k. My life is in danger.
Sunday and Rain are talking is like Rain has like she's like personally involved in this, so
Yeah.
she's getting really flustered, and I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way at all. Like obviously
Yeah.
this is something.
Wait, sorry, what was this? What was
And
this?
Rain also jumps on the call for a little bit. I was really fucking frustrated because what it essentially sounded to me like when Sunday and Rain are talking is like Rain has like she's like personally involved in this, so
Yeah.
she's getting
Personally involved. How? What happened? How? What happened to Lady Raincloud? How is Lady Raincloud involved? What is so traumatic that this individual is cannot possibly engage with this topic in a rational manner on a live stream after years of being on live streams? How were they so personally involved? What happened to them? Anyone gonna tell me at any point? Also, Quack's got a point. I haven't really been shelling, guys. Okay. There's not only 27 likes. You are wrong on that. There's 41 likes. However, that is still a shameful discrepancy between to the 186 viewers we've got right now. So, if you could stop freeloading, please open your wallets, open your hearts, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
really flustered, and I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way.
Victimized white boys need your help now. Okay, and the only way to help is financial assistance.
All like obviously this is something upsetting to her, and so he kept like kind of going on this thing where it was like you shouldn't be talking about it publicly, and it was like at this point, you know, what else do they? Oh fuck! Did my headphones just die? Oh shit! Sorry, my headphones just died. Fuck. So I jumped in because I was like, I saw her starting to get like really fucking frustrated, and it was irritating to me that Sunday was basically just saying like, no, you guys should all just be quiet about it and let Poppy be crazy, essentially. And then, you know, he was like alluding to, you guys should leave it alone because Kiwi Farms, and it's like, dude, they're gonna read it anyway, so why would they not just kind of like that out as well?
Yeah, and if anything, honestly, from what I've seen from their like what they have said about this, they've been pretty sympathetic towards the victims of this. Like I believe I read something. They said, you know, politically, I disagree. You know, and they've been saying like
KF actually heckin' support KF is actually heckin' supporting the victims. They're actually heckin' supporting the dude. Save me this fucking talking point. Just because there's a few positive posts on KF, a few users, once again, right? This is the retarded people. She's doing the retarded thing that people do with KF in the opposite direction, acting like it's a monolith. KF is a website. There are users on KF and rules on KF. Individual users may make posts saying their opinion about the Poppy and Xena situation simply because there are users in the thread expressing concern for the victims. That does not mean that none of the information on there None of the digging is going to be used in a malicious way ever. The victims are totally fine because, well, KF is supportive right now. That's simply not the case. If I want to make a video on someone, if I want to do a stream on someone, and they've got info on KF, that's where I'm checking. If Turkey Tom does a fucking video on someone, that's where he's checking. Fucking Nicholas Diorio probably checks KF too. Like any commentary YouTuber, any politics YouTuber, any fucking what's the other community called? What's the other drama community? The one with all the women and shit. Is it T community? They probably all check KF. If they want to use something against them, they check KF. They check KF. If Keffels wants to use something against someone, they check KF. If someone wants to, it just is the case. So just saying.
Cooney64 super chatted $2. Space Laser Fund.
So just saying that, oh, well, there's positive posts in KF, so they're safe. That means nothing. That's irrelevant. That just means those users are supportive of the victims. I'm sure there's plenty of individual users on KF that when they see a legitimate case of abuse, they are very supportive. I'm sure that's the case. That doesn't mean it's the case for all of them. That doesn't mean that's how that information is going to be used when it's collated. Doesn't mean I've got an issue with it being collated on there, but this just simply isn't an argument. It's so retarded, and she uses this again and again.
Oh, we disagree with like the gender stuff, but like, you know, this is so sad. We do wish you the best, you know. And believe it or not, like, believe it or not, there is like a trans community on Kiwi Farms as well. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and it's already out of the bag. They're already paying attention to it. That's such a stupid reason to not pay, you know, to not pay it any attention or to not like talk about it. One party is already doing it, you know.
And that's what I had already I mentioned as well, is I was like, all the people are like, everything that I've seen, they're like, leave Spawn alone. Like, leave these people alone. Like, that's not what we're here for. We're here for them. Like, who gives a shit, like, what they're doing with their life? We're here to laugh at these people, not these people. And even if people are, like, approximately involved, they're going to be involved anyway. And all that does is, like, twist the narrative in one direction. And it's not fair that Poppy gets to run her mouth and, you know, slander everybody and their mom, like, on her way out, you know, before.
Dude, this is so retarded. This is so... It's not fair. It's not fair. The victim should be allowed to speak. No one's saying they're not allowed to speak. No one's saying that. It's a statement of what's intelligent to do if you're trying to seek proper justice from the situation. It's nothing to do with whether the victims are allowed to talk or what's fair. So fucking stupid.
Or she slams the door in everybody's face. But like, just saying, you know, like, this isn't what she's saying isn't true. I felt like really bad for Lady Rain, and I was like, it is fucked up. Just like not connecting that, like, you guys aren't trying to do like the media circus, like drama cycle, like you and I are, for sure. I won't deny that.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
For them, they just want to feel like they're not just getting fucking blasted all over the place. You know?
So there, Stardust there saying, yeah, absolutely. I'm just doing this. I'm just doing this for the drama cycle. Curious. Huh. Interesting. Okay. We'll keep note of that. We'll see what she says later. Anyway, let's try and speed this up because I do want to get onto the debate.
You know, that's only the context that I wanted to add is like, that's why I called.
No, I think that's a good point. And there's a huge disparity as well. It's not just that Poppy's been running her mouth.
Thank you,
running
Windows.
their mouth, right? It's that they have a huge platform in comparison to somebody like Lady Raincloud, somebody like Miss Milena, somebody, you know, any of these people, like Spawn. Some of them have literally no platform. So it's like uneven in multiple ways, and they're just trying to get their part of their side of the story out. And I think that's fair, you know? So
yeah, I agree. It was just, I felt very, very sad, like listening to Lady Raincloud, because she has spoken to me before about this and just being like, it's
poor Lady Raincloud. Sorry, what happened to her again? Sorry, what happened to Kiara Raincloud again? Sorry, Sorry, what happened?
About this, like, I don't know what to do because I don't have a platform. And
if you want to listen to Lady Raincloud talk with Sunday before Malcolm comes on, timestamp is 2:25:58 in the Xenia and Poppy Files stream. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's have a look. You know, guys, this is going to be my content. Oh, look, I fucking hate Stardust. Okay, so we're going to pour over every second of this. All right. Stardust is dirt. $2:25:58.
You have complaints?
I do, yeah.
All right. Be my guest.
I am going to regret this, but thankfully the people who would be telling me not to do this,
This is like a 50-year-old this person's like 50 or some shit. They look like 50. I can only assume they're outfit. They're like at least 35. They're like somewhere between 35 and 50.
I'm just going to say it. I definitely don't appreciate the tour comment. Not when she spoke to one person. You retracted that. Fine. But I think that was incredibly irresponsible.
Oh, hang on, we lost connection. Give it a sec. Wait, why did I click that? Give it a sec. It'll come back. Just so you can be heard.
A paste Sunday.
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, cannot.
All right.
Let's go.
As I was saying, I think that the tour comment, which you retracted,
Cans cook.
was incredibly irresponsible because...
Can I be honest? I think the singular interview is a mistake.
Okay. Why is it your call?
What do you mean, why is it my call?
Because anytime you're pursuing defamation, a defamation suit against someone, talking more publicly is a bad idea. Pretty much, almost undeniably. No lawyer is ever going to say to you, yeah, talk more publicly. That just doesn't happen. That's not... It is always, shut the fuck up, contest it in court.
Did I say it was my call?
I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding your specific thought process and calling it out and saying it's a mistake, as you basically making a statement that Snowflake should not have done this instead of just...
In my judgment, I said I think it's a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what about the rest of us, though? Are we not allowed to...
Well, what happened to you, Lady Wrinkle? Let's hear what happened to you. How are you victimized?
Is it anybody's call, right? Those of us, like, Poppy has dozens of victims, not just Snowflake.
I didn't say she couldn't do it. She's entirely entitled to do so, yeah.
Right,
so,
but...
Yeah, I don't know where Stardust got the idea that Sunday was saying they have a right to talk, or Malcolm got the idea. He literally said that they're allowed to do it, they can do whatever they want. I think it's a bad idea. That's a totally fine, uncontroversial statement.
We went on a little bit of a rant about like legality and what people should and shouldn't say, and Kiwi Farms being involved. Like, these are
reasons that would stand to me as a strong argument against doing these things. And I think that, on balance, I think doing interviews like this in this context is a mistake.
Okay,
I think it endangers the person more than it serves to fix anything.
So is me talking with you right now a mistake?
Yep.
Conceivably, yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean,
that's
sure.
that's not my call. I've just given you the invitation. You see the difference?
Okay.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, yeah, it obviously is. Yes.
That being what it is, I take it you would say the same thing to every other...
I'm sorry, but literally any time you were trying to pursue justice for some abuse that has happened to you, talking to a streamer, talking to a YouTuber is a bad idea. Pretty much any time. 95% of cases, 99% of cases, talking to a YouTuber or streamer is a bad idea if you're seeking justice for abuse. I don't know how else to frame this. I don't know how else to make this clear. It is so uncontroversially obvious to anyone with an IQ above, I don't even know, like 96, 95, 90? Above 90, we'll say. If you're even getting towards average, you should be able to make the judgment that talking to people whose only motive is bombastic content for the sake of entertainment and bringing in money is a bad idea if you're seeking justice for your abuse. That is a bad idea.
Victim that none of us should speak up about anything?
It would really depend. And it's one of those things where it's like, there's a situation where, let's say, someone is the victim of some kind of, like, maybe a more heinous type of abuse than what we're seeing here with Snowflake. And they're reacting in a way that is not ideal for pursuing justice or for, like, fixing the situation or penalizing responsible parties or et cetera, et cetera. And under certain circumstances, it's like, you can't really expect someone to be thinking, like, strategically or carefully under those conditions. They're dealing with trauma, and so it's kind of beside the point to highlight mistakes they've made in their portrayal. They'd still be mistakes. These are things that they've done that disadvantage them, but you wouldn't really do so because it would just be kicking them when they're down. I think in that case, I would say, I agree with you. I think you'd probably have a point. Like when you're talking about a rapist, or not a rapist, a rape victim, for example, who is, you know, just not portraying it in the most, like, sympathetic way in public, because that happens. Or victims of other kinds of abuse, things like that. When we're talking about, like,
Did I miss the Stardust coverage? No, we're doing all the context, okay, Nick? We are surgically tearing apart Stardust, so we are pouring over every detail of this sort of conflict.
Just responding to opportunities for interview about these things, I think, like on YouTube with randos like this Victor person, I think it's fair under these circumstances to say I think that's probably not a super wise decision. I think people should probably think twice about doing so under these conditions. I think in this circumstance, there is no conceivable way that this causes a stop to what Xena and Poppy are doing. And I think it opens the door, every word she says, opens the door for, or creates an opportunity for some detail of her life to be just mined by someone with nefarious intent, right? That's my logic here. Now, I'm not saying she can't do the interview, she shouldn't be allowed to do the interview, or she should be bullied for doing the interview or whatever. Just that I think it's a mistake. And that is my call, by the way, what I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair point. But again, bringing notice to things like Kiwi Farms being involved. Like, they've been involved for years. They're going to be involved. And I have been told...
in the Xena and Poppy thing? No, this is pretty recent, actually.
No, they have been. There's the person who started that thread has been following Poppy and Xena since 2022.
Sure, but it's intensified considerably over the past month.
It has intensified considerably because Poppy made certain of that by antagonizing them.
I agree.
Right.
Oh, so all of a sudden this is... Sorry, what? Where was this energy when it was Careful's? LRC? Mrs. Rain Clouds? Where was this talk when it was Careful's? Let me check this... Wigger's tweets real quick. What were your tweets like back when Drop Kiwi Farms was going on?
But again, I have had people tell me that my own documents, seeing as how documents seems to be what everybody wants to fucking do lately, should not come out, and that my statements, as one of her former friends and moderators and someone who's physically been present in her house and knew her very, very well, her and Xena both, that I shouldn't say anything because I've previously been doxxed, and Kiwi Farms might turn on me and go to me next, and they might go to any other victim.
Maybe,
Please release your doc, please. I want to hear about all the horrible abuse you've been through. Where we need this now. I need to know.
Okay, well, so what? They're going to do it regardless.
Here's a question.
Should I not?
Well, not necessarily though, right? If you didn't, they wouldn't. So, if this results in the destruction of your relationship or relationships with other people because they managed to, like, for example, through you, get the personals of people you're involved with or people you're related to or maybe places where you work, etc., etc., is that now worth it? And I don't think that's an easy question to answer.
I mean, it's obviously up for each person to make that decision.
Sure. Lady Brainfog.
Sure. I mean, fine, I'll grant you that. It's up for each person to make that decision. But what I have a problem with is making it seem like any victim that makes the choice to speak out should not do so.
I didn't say that.
Because of the danger of Kiwi Farms and the danger of any sort of potential legality.
You deal with anybody who's been sexually abused by, like, some big shot in Hollywood, for example. You're dealing with a lot more danger than what Kiwi Farms can dish out in most cases.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all.
Right, but unless I just drastically misunderstood you here.
Probably.
Like the people,
you sound like a fucking retard, so I wouldn't be surprised.
If Kiwi Farms chooses to focus on those individuals, I mean, it's still up to those individuals to make the call whether they want to come out or not. And the thing is you brought up legality, like any of us have any platform, any money, any ability to do anything legality-wise or not.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of like legal proceedings.
Yeah, in terms of legal, like you like most of the people involved don't have the financial ability to get involved legally regardless.
Okay, but I think I see what you're saying. I think there's a difference though between saying that certain modes of retaliation are inaccessible to us and saying that therefore whatever mode of retaliation is available to us is a good or right idea. Yeah? So if on balance this provides no actual benefit to Snowflake, who could have, for example, just answered questions in DMs and then have the answers curated instead of being like recorded on live stream, and doing so risks exposing aspects of her personal life that can be used against her, even outside of the Poppy context. Like, to me, that's a pretty easy judgment. Now, maybe Snowflake.
Yeah, exactly. This is another point, right? Everything that these quote-unquote victims are saying now about their personal life, about their sexual interactions, all this shit. If they get into some drama later, if they're still around online and they get into shit and all of a sudden everyone hates them, do you not think all that information is then going to get dragged back up again to be used against them? Like, yeah, it might seem like a good idea right now, but that doesn't mean you're going to feel that way forever. It could be that coming out and speaking about your abuse actually has a worse impact on you long term. But they're not thinking about that. And these fucking content creators like Stardust, who fucking insists that she cares about, you know, what happens to these victims, yet will sit there and fucking encourage them to keep releasing more and more information when she knows how this shit goes. She's been around long enough. She knows exactly how this goes. The moment you're out of favor, that'll be turned around on you. Because she doesn't care. She just wants their money. She just wants their money, and she's happy to lie, happy to play like she's being empathetic and caring. Simply not the case. She's a disgusting, sociopathic wretch. She genuinely, Stardust might be the closest thing to a sociopath that I see in streaming. I mean that above Destiny, above Mr. Girl, above whatever streamer you fucking hate. I genuinely think Stardust is one of the most sociopathic, reptilian, nasty going. Fuck's sake. She brings it out of me, man. She brings it out of me. Fuck.
And that's her prerogative, but I think it's a mistake.
All right, I mean, fine, fair. I'll capitulate to the fact that you, obviously, it's your stream, it's your house, you're allowed to have your opinions. But the way that those opinions came off, or the way that I took them, which that's obviously on me, the way that I took them was you making some sort of authoritative statement that this thing should not be done and was incorrect and bad for a victim of abuse to do, and that the victim should, not only just that victim, but the rest of the victims should not be doing things because of that cost-benefit analysis of potential real-world legality or potential involvement of Kiwi Farms. And that is a cost-benefit analysis that every victim should be making without other people getting into the weeds here and saying things like, you know, I don't like everybody involved. And I don't think anybody's doing the right thing. Well, what else are we supposed to do? I got, 1,400 people on Twitter? If I want to talk about what Poppy did to me, what Poppy, if Milena wants to talk about what Poppy did to her, if my friend Aztec or Paco or Samantha or Verthandi, by the way, I know a lot of the victims, if any of us want to start talking about what Poppy has done to all of us, we have no platforms. We don't have the ability to get involved legally because none of us have the financial standing. All of us have already been engaged by Kiwi Farms, and some of us have already been doxxed, myself included. What are we left to do, since your opinion is that all that we're doing now is not the correct thing, other than everybody raiding a whole bunch of fucking docs for hours on end?
What did she do allegedly? Okay. So there were unsubstantiated allegations that she abused her 24-year-old kid who was adopted from their dead mother that Poppy was married to, but it wasn't Poppy's kid. It was from a previous relationship that this now dead mother had, but the father left and abandoned it completely. And the kid grew up, got to 24, didn't have a job, was refusing to look for a job, had finished school, and was sort of laying about in the house, refusing to do chores and festering in their own filth. And Poppy and Xena laid out a bunch of like chores and instructions and exercises to do for searching for apartments, searching for jobs, and this sort of shit to try and get their life on track. And that's what's substantiated by the document. Then there's a bunch of screenshots of this kid, 24-year-old kid, in a Discord vent channel, relaying stories about negative interactions. So there's not really anything to go off of there. People keep citing this chore list that was apparently really long, but it was actually just a very detailed list of a couple of chores, which was like vacuum the house. But then the vacuum the house step will be broken down into like pick up objects off the floor, vacuum underneath, place objects back. It's stuff like that. And then people are pointing to this, saying it's a really long list of chores that they were being forced to do, when it was actually very basic, just detailed, because this person was 24 and didn't know how to do anything for themselves. Now, aside from that, it does seem like Poppy and Xena, Poppy has falsely accused this person, Snowflake, of rape, using sort of like bullshit progressive logic of, oh, I was raped by deception because you didn't actually want a relationship with me and I felt like you did. So that seems to be the case. And it also seems like they've engaged in quite emotionally manipulative conduct in DMs from what I've seen. So they do seem pretty insane. Just so the documents seem very motivated by just a want to destroy these people and an overload of information versus accurately portraying what the supported claims. Now, Malcolm here, who is going to jump on the stream soon, is running around saying there is this Noah Flake person who was accused of rape using BS progressive logic has a foolproof defamation case. It's a slam dunk defamation case. So yeah, it's all just a very embarrassing situation on every side right now.
What else are we supposed to do? That's the question. What would you have, since your opinion is that what we're doing right now could be a mistake? Talking to streamers is a mistake, which, despite the fact I've told several of my friends that keep telling me not to do this,
Yeah.
that I can't fucking write docs because of vision and dyslexia issues. That's why I prefer to talk. But
Let's run this back. Sorry, what?
since your opinion is that all that we're doing now is not the correct thing, other than everybody raiding a whole bunch of fucking docs for hours on end.
I said earlier, this Lady Rain Card individual is a total bed blob. I said that earlier. Did I not?
What else are we supposed to do? That's the question. What would you have, since your opinion is that what we're doing right now could be a mistake? Talking to streamers is a mistake, which, despite the fact I've told several of my friends that keep telling me not to do this,
Yeah.
that I can't fucking write docs because of vision and dyslexia issues.
I did
That's
say
why I
bed
prefer
blob.
to talk.
I did.
But that's just a me thing.
It's another Nico nerd, guys. Oh man, fuck. Guy, wait, I need to. I should have done this at the start of the stream, guys. I don't know if you saw it in the Discord the other day, though. It's just such a catastrophic, one of the most insane things to ever occur. Sorry, 2 seconds. 2 sec. I need to show you this. I just mentioned Nico Nerd, and it has to be brought up. It has to be shown. I can't go on another moment after mentioning it without showing it. So basically, Nico Nerd decided to start posting in the current affairs channel of Chud's Discord about Tipster. And then we were poking them a little bit. They say, you know, when I say hoarding, you probably picture the TLC show, but it's level 1 from impulse shopping. It isn't even considered hoarding, but people always jump to conclusions. No, I picture the hundreds of cats that you've likely petted to death all stuck together in a frozen sludge. Yeah, which is incorrect. And I say, prove it. And then this is what we get in response. It's just that easy. People just do the stupidest shit. Prove it. Oh yeah, let me take pictures of my disgusting fucking apartment real quick. Like, why? Yeah, I'm just like laughing. Also, being disabled, I can't work due to mental and chronic issues, but I'm able to manage otherwise. Clean your room, Nico Nerd. Yeah, but this isn't even my stuff entirely. Also, I know you're just a douche queen, and I don't know why you're obsessed with me. Dude. So good.
Who fucking cares? What are we supposed to do since your opinion is that everything we're doing is not the correct thing to do?
Well, off the top of my head, I'll give you 2 answers for that. The first one I'll give you, I guess it's the second one. Next one I'll give you. The first one is just practical, like in terms of what I would actually do, and the second one is going to be kind of a critique of your framing of that. This person is a licensed therapist. I would be making reports to whatever body licensed her, and I'd be looking into that.
Look, it's not about whether those pictures show like TLC level hoarding. Like, this is about what when they said hoarding, but it's not that bad. This is about what I had pictured. So it's not about whether this supports what they were saying. It's about the fact that just by saying prove it, that they show just like gross photos of the inside of their unclean home. Like, why have you been provoked into it? Why to prove people on the internet wrong? Or try to prove people on the internet wrong when they are deliberately misportraying you to make you upset. You then volunteer more information that just makes you look like a disgusting wretch. Like,
kind of immediately is my first step, because at bottom, what this person is someone who is leveraging her position as a licensed therapist. And the safe space she has made for people who are neurodivergent or who would otherwise, you know, want the services of a therapist in order to coerce people into engaging in sexual relationships with her or to bully them if they refuse to. That would be number one. The other thing I'd be doing is cutting off all communication or mention of her and just ceasing like any kind of social media engagement with her presence at all, for the simple reason that unless you're able to engage a legal structure of some kind or the police, there's really not a whole lot you can do. Or maybe, for example, like Twitter's moderation or whatever. Right. There's really not a whole lot you can do, because at the end of the day, all that actually matters, unfortunately, is what you can actually affect. And if what you're doing doesn't affect anything, it doesn't like cause her to stop, it doesn't undo what she's done, and if when you examine it there's also negatives associated with it, well, those are kind of the things that are going to be that in my opinion at least should be operative in determining what decision. Trans
Persian is getting desperate in chat. Yeah, so this is the unhinged individual who gave Stardust $300 so that she won a debate and won a point in a debate. Dude, this is the These people are insane. This is so fucking desperate. Like, these people are embarrassing themselves so bad. Oh, man, so disgusting. I hate watching stuff like this. These people repulse me. When there's some drama going on and you cannot possibly stop yourself from spurging out and trying to course correct the narrative on every stream you see it being covered on. Or every stream what you think will be receptive. Obviously, they don't bother coming here because, you know. But here, transpersonal spurg the fuck... Trans Persian will spurg the fuck out with paragraphs in chat. Malcolm spurging in chat. Let me in! Why are your doors closed to the public? Let me in! This is embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. I cannot imagine begging to get onto a stream like this.
Well, I know other...
Kiara is the one in the call. Spot gun. That is Kiara Raincloud. Lady Raincloud.
Oh, go on, please.
I know other people want to talk to you. Malcolm keeps wanting you to let him in.
I'll give Malcolm time. Okay, you can take your time.
I know. I think Malcolm wants to come in with me. I don't know.
I need a handler. I need a handler.
But either I don't care. Malcolm can come in if he wants to. It doesn't bother me. But I feel I need to counter some of that, right? Like, some of the reasons why the victims have been doing what they've been doing since May of last year, when this stuff started to go to hell, was the creation of what people, I guess, have been calling a whisper network. Sure, fine. It wasn't really created. It just formed naturally. Is people trying to warn other communities, which we've done, right? And that's step number one, is trying to warn other communities that these are dangerous people that should not be in those communities, so that they don't have those communities as additional victim pools. I'd say that that's pretty admirable to be focusing on that. The other thing is, sure, like, we can disengage with Poppy, but Poppy made 109 tweets about No Flake literally 3 days ago, 88 the day after, and 94 today. So, like, we can disengage with her, but she's not going to disengage.
Has anyone started a GoFundMe for the legal fund?
I don't know. I don't think anybody plans any sort of...
Wait, so if Poppy keeps posting, you have to keep posting. This is such poor decision-making on display here. Everyone involved in this is genuinely so mentally unwell. Even if you're going to make a statement about your side of it, the best way to handle it is always going to be a single, clear, definitive statement with all the evidence that lays it out clearly and concisely, and then disengage. That is always, without fail, the best way to handle it. So if Poppy posts 94 tweets a day, do you have to post 94 tweets a day? Is that what we're saying here? You have to keep engaging so long as Poppy does. Keep fighting the narrative. That's literally how you end up destroying yourself every time. Constantly getting dragged into never-ending shit fights with people who have nothing to lose.
I don't know. I mean...
One day these people will realize that we only think they should keep posting because we like seeing them destroying their own lives. That's the thing. I'll say that. You'll say that. Fucking Chud will say that. Stardust says, "I'm standing up for victims. I want the victims to get justice. I'm standing up for victims. Thank you for the $300, Trans Persian. Thank you for the $300. Yeah, I'm fighting for you. This is really serious." Total sociopath. Total sociopath.
That would be up to each person to decide if they plan any sort of...
I
know Melina had offered to cover legal costs for people. I mean, she can come in and talk after I leave. But, like...
Well, hang on. So, the legal route is not actually off the table then? Not entirely?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have...
Yeah, I got you.
Anything outside of making any sort of reports to the licensure board, which I'm not allowed to talk about. So, if people want to do that and they have the money and they think that there's a thing there, that's fine, knowing full well that if they do that, they're going to be in a courtroom with Poppy, and that's going to, you know, fucking suck. So people want to go through that.
Pen stimming is so real.
But we still have made strides here in warning communities about these people, so that, as I said earlier, to loop a little, sorry, I do that.
That's okay.
They don't have additional victim pools. And they're losing, they've lost 1,000 subscribers. They're losing Twitter followers like crazy. That's not nothing.
Oh my God.
We've cut off those.
The victims, they lost some social media engagement. Truly, the victims have found justice today.
Avenues.
Now here's
cut off that platform.
Okay,
right?
I hear you. Now here's my retort, though.
I remind you, these people are all fully on board with the Spawn allegations. So they think justice they've got justice for a life of child abuse by making them lose 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Please think about that. They think they have gotten proper justice for a lifetime of child abuse by making them lose 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We've gone about this in the best way possible, guys. I don't think anyone said that. What do you mean I don't think anyone said that? No one said what? You have to say what you mean. I think Gunnar Johnson's come into chat being retarded before. Poppy lost her actual job. Poppy lost her job because her boss was already aware of her social media activity, and she was given an ultimatum between continuing stuff on social media and having her job. That's why Poppy lost her job. Poppy did not lose her job because people, made a complaint to the licensing board, because there was any adjudication made about her conduct. What do you mean these are bots? These are not bots, retard. You're just wrong, Ali. You're retarded. Why report her to the board? They won't do anything. Imagine how retarded and insane you have to be to not only be posting such psycho shit on social media that your boss takes notice, but also not be able to stop and get fired for it. Well, she didn't even get fired. She didn't actually technically get fired for it, did she? She was given an ultimatum: leave and keep doing social media. Ali Khan, generic name. He's a bot. Yeah, absolutely. Ali needs to be timed out. It's a generic name. Yeah, she did leave. She left. So Gunnar Johnson is just like retarded. Literally given the slightest amount of pushback. Hey, maybe it's a good idea to seek legal recourse and contact the proper regulatory bodies in regards to someone's job if you think their conduct is so negative that they should be punished in some way. Hey, maybe going through the proper channels before you take it online is a good idea. Go for it. I'm all for that, and for the other stuff too, dumb shit. You're retarded. You don't understand that literally making public statements is almost always it's never gonna have a positive impact on any case you have through traditional channels. Almost never. That's why any lawyer will tell you to shut the fuck up, and that's Sunday's point of this entire stream. Now, I just explained to you why they can't do two things at once, because one almost always undermines the other, and any lawyer will tell you to shut the fuck up. Malcolm is going to come on stream any minute and start arguing that they have a slam dunk defamation case. If they have a slam dunk defamation case, why the fuck are they making public statements about it? Pursue the defamation case. The lawyer is not going to want you to keep talking about it. Why is Stardust on stream acting like, justice has been served, or that releasing the documents was the best idea? Why not do a GoFundMe? Why not seek legal action? Why was that not the coverage? Why is it 10 videos covering every single aspect of these documents, Stardust, instead of one GoFundMe? Why be upset? It's drama. Okay, you're painfully retarded. Do you you clearly don't understand how content works. I don't understand. Do you want any energy? Any passion? I don't like having women here, period. There's a lot of them, and we need to start cleaning house, so you're going immediately. No maidens? Stupid joke. Stupid joke. Women pros, I don't feel so good. You know what's funny? What's really funny? Is my female audience percentage nosedives whenever I cover Destiny drama for a few days in a row. That's it. I just find that funny. I just find that funny.
Okay.
It's not nothing, but it may be. It may not have occurred to the people involved that the interest in Xena and Poppy is not just in Xena and Poppy; it's in their whole network. So people, for example, who are now exposed as being related to them.
Look, yes, he is repulsive. Destiny is gross. Obviously, I ain't watching him. Like,
known, are now going to be looked into.
It is. It's the low SMV.
Like
fuck.
What did Doe do to anybody? Very little, really. But people will mention Doe in the most diverse circumstances, just because deer person meme. And Doe will never escape that. At least it doesn't seem like it in the short term.
Okay, guys, I was a bit misogynistic. I acted too quickly.
That can be very
I'm
difficult
unbanning
for a
that
lot
woman.
of people to deal with, and I think that the dangers associated.
I just did an unban wave today, so I feel like I should. That was probably a bit quick. I probably judged a bit faster. We'll undo that one.
That should not be underestimated. If these people end up suffering like emotional, psychological harm as a result of this, I'm not comfortable, personally, with the idea of not recommending against certain types of actions that will lead to that, just on the grounds that the people who are doing so are already victims going in. So I think there's room for like some level of pragmatism about this, and I do reject a little bit the idea.
Rudamute Crab super chatted $3.26. That's because your female audience are a Mabs playing dress up Lil Ninja.
Okay, thank you for the $5. Rude Mud Crab.
That reasoning about this is intrinsically out of hand. First of all, because I think at some level we kind of have to, otherwise you're literally damning victims to always just react and to never prepare, or for example, for there not to be good advice in the vicinity of people. I'm not saying I'm giving a good advice, but like there not to be good advice present amidst them because people are too afraid to give it. But second, because those people are the most vulnerable of us to the harms that can be done by that kind of exposure. And the harm goes beyond the initial harm done that triggered the whole thing to begin with. Like, you take someone who's been abused on some level, maybe they've been exposed publicly, maybe they're dealing with a tremendous amount of stress about being characterized as a rapist. Well, what if as a consequence of...
The Marshallist super chatted $1.99. President Sunday sells NFT and hates black people.
Thank you for the $1.99, the Marshallist.
Of talking about this and talking about different names and places and whatnot, they contribute to boosting the profile of the event as a whole. And now all of a sudden people are looking into them. And they have something that, you know, is considered lol-worthy. And
listen, America gets trans people, we get no free speech, okay? You win some, you lose some. That's the way it goes.
Some community or whatever. Well, that can now compound the damage to that person and doesn't solve anything. See what I'm saying?
Okay, sure. Fair. You can bring Malcolm in if you want, by the way.
Sure, is Malcolm.
And I'm gonna make two comments, and then I've closed the chat off. One is I'm not unplugged.
Don't listen to chat. Yeah.
And I haven't been unplugged for a few months now. And two is I'm not speaking for all the victims. I'm speaking for me, and I'm asking you specifically questions about how you're covering.
This is patron privy information only. The last super chatter is violating my intellectual property and should be banned forthwith. Okay, Sunday.
Yes. So that is what it is, and now I'm closing the chat completely, so it's gone.
Good move. Which one's Malcolm?
FT Mongoose.
Hello.
And one other thing, by the way, too. This is the first time I have spoken.
I'll let you on. I'll let you on after. You'll have time to talk. Don't worry. So this person's in. Hello.
So, okay, is this where... Okay, Malcolm joins here. Let's flick back. Let's flick back to the Stardust coverage. Let's see what we're up to. 1.5x.
And it's not fair, that this is also one-sided. And I was like, this is making me really sad. I was like, I messaged her and I was like, I can come in if you want because like this is really, really depressing to listen to. So just for context, I wasn't going in there to like talk shit or anything like that. I specifically was like, dude, it is fucked up that you're literally just telling Lady Raincloud that they all have to roll over and just let Poppy run her mouth, essentially, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's not what he was saying. That's not what he was saying. He was saying it's a bad idea to continue releasing information publicly if you are seeking restitution or justice through the proper channels. That is a bad idea. That is an unintelligent move to start releasing information publicly. You should always seek any justice through the proper channels before you get into Twitter shitfights. Twitter shitfights are the last resort if you're seeking justice for abuse or rape or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to add that context.
No,
so,
thank you for calling. Thank you for calling and adding the context. I really appreciate it.
Of course, have fun. It's interesting. All right. Take care, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
That's Malcolm. Everybody, go check him out. Goddamn it, Malcolm on YouTube. Based Chad King. Okay. Also, God King or whatever that whole thing was. So yeah.
Wow.
Like it's to the point.
Great start.
I think it's really
what
telling.
a beacon of charisma.
Where, a gossip forum, right? Because that's kind of how I view KF.
Based Chad
gossip
King
forum for like e-celebrities feels so
How
bad
about I
for the people
fucking-
invested. Or not invested, the people involved in this, that they have like put their own messages out there saying like, we hope you guys, we wish you guys well, even if we politically disagree with you, I think that's really showing.
Have they considered contacting Ronan Farrow? It's curious. You say this. It's curious. You say that, Jacob. I find it very fucking interesting that Stardust is sitting there on stream saying how Based and Girlboss, the person who went around and collected all these documents up and wrote all these documents for the victims is. She keeps saying all that. Yet Mr. Girl running around behind the scenes collecting testimonies on esoteric forms of abuse is a bad thing. Huh. I wonder where the line is. I just wonder what the standard for analyzing these things is. I can't imagine. I just genuinely cannot imagine.
Showing how bad the situation is. If literally a site dedicated to gossiping is making that statement, right? So yeah.
I can't
There's a
imagine.
reason
Is
the victims
Stardust
of
friends
Google
with them? Does it benefit Stardust? And that's the only analysis.
Respond, they don't have platforms, yeah. It's Lipstick Alley, CDN, ONTD for e-celebs. That's kind of like how I view it, but like people don't agree with me, and I understand why. Because sometimes it really depends on the thread. Like certain threads are a little bit more crazy than others. Like certain threads, like
You
yeah,
should
you
do a
definitely have
Stardust
more
report.
crazy people, but other threads are generally fine. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, definitely feel bad for Lady Raincloud in this. And she's very, of course she's personally affected by this. She was personally involved in this, and it's going to hurt to hear somebody saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't be voicing your side of the story." It's going to be, very hurtful. So.
Here's
You don't get it. The line is dynamic based on whether your username is Destiny or not. That makes a lot of sense.
here's what I'd be worried about.
Mhm.
It's not clear to
Yeah,
me
I've
that any of us can
I've
know
been thinking for a while that might be how the line
No,
works.
Snowflake.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've had
it's
an
a bit- I guess
inkling.
it's a bit of a bit that everybody's been saying no, but it's Snowflake.
I have dyslexia, so it doesn't count when I do it.
It is not clear to me, and maybe this is because I haven't watched it through, but it's not clear to me that anything that No said could not. It's her, right?
Yes.
It's her. I thought I heard they earlier. I wasn't sure.
She
Could not be used against her. Like even something as small as like mentions a date out of order, right? Mentions a feeling, mentions a phrase, whatever. Because the point here is we're not like in a court of law. Any inconsistency, anything that smacks of her behavior or her avowal of her behavior doesn't match her description of her opinion or her attitude or her emotions or whatever. Like anything of that sort can then be used to justify carrying this further. It's a launching pad for more.
But they were going to do more anyways. Whether Snowflake spoke or didn't speak, they were going to continue slandering her anyways. And if like legal worries are something that President Sunday is voicing here, you can say that, sure. But remember that the bar for being considered a public figure legally is very low. And absolutely, Poppy and Xena would be considered public figures.
Okay, is that even relevant? I thought that was when you were making. I thought that was when public figures The point of the public figure thing is that if you make a statement about a public figure, it has to, there's a higher standard for defamation. But this is a case of a public figure making a statement. Does that... Yes, extremely. Gunnar Johnson, you are actually getting timed out. And I can't undo timeouts. But you don't know anything. I know you don't know anything about law. So someone who's actually smart, tell me, what is the relevance of being a public figure in a defamation case in the US? Public figure defamation USA. A public figure must prove that a defendant acted with actual malice. Actual malice. Fuck me. Actual malice. Fuck. I can't talk. Jesus. Actual malice. Actual malice. Try and curse you. Actual malice. Fuck. Actual malice. Bovax can read better. Gay people talks like malice to attract other mates. Okay, right. Okay. A public figure must prove that a defendant acted with actual malice in publishing a false statement about the plaintiff. That is the relevance of being a public figure in a defamation case, to my understanding. It is not about when the defendant is a public figure. That's not what it's relevant to, which is what it would be in this case, because defamation is being alleged against a public figure. The defendant would be a public figure and the plaintiff would not be, theoretically. I don't even know, Snowflake might even be considered a public figure by the same standard. I don't know what their following's like. Take your time, picture the words in your head. That tends to help my retarded little cousin. The root at hand must be a lie. So if they're establishing a fact of damage, the fact must be a lie outright, period. Oh, thank God it wasn't me who said malish. Sunday. Are you good on twisting the knife here, dog? If a public figure calls you a rapist, it has further reach than if an average no one said it. Okay, yes, I agree with that. That would be an argument if you were trying to make an argument for damages. But my understanding is that claims like being a rapist, like crimes, especially sex crimes, are usually defamation per se, and you don't need to. What is defamation per se, Michigan? Only regarding chastity. What does that mean? Yeah, so this would come under it. This would fall under it. It would be per se. It would be defamation per se, yeah. In Michigan, a person can only sue for defamation per se if an alleged offending party suggests or implies a person is sexually immoral. So, yeah, this would be. So that doesn't even matter. So saying a public figure in regards to the reach of the claims does not even matter because you don't even have to prove damages. So that's irrelevant to whether the case would win or not, really. I think. From my understanding, from retarded, not a lawyer understanding. So, Stardust has no idea what she's talking about once again. I don't know why this stupid bitch... Imagine, because her argument for this entire thing with Sunday is, you don't have the information to make statements. You don't have the information... It's bitch, you don't understand anything. You make so many claims that you cannot back up. Defamation per se is different, though. What?
Like, anything of that sort can then be used to justify carrying this further. It's a launching pad for more. But
they were going to do more anyways. Whether No Flake spoke or didn't speak, they were going to continue slandering her anyways. And if like legal worries or something that President Sunday is voicing here, you can say that, sure. But remember that the bar for being considered a public figure legally is very low. And absolutely, Poppy and Xena would be considered public figures. So if they try to go after Snowflake and say that it's defamation cases, if you are a public figure, are incredibly hard to win. Incredibly hard.
So yeah, this is totally irrelevant. All right, Topher, here's the problem, right? Is that Stardust is bringing up this public figure point. I said being a public figure has no relevance to Poppy and Xena being public figures has no relevance to this defamation case from what I can tell. It was then retorted that being a public figure does have relevance because their claims have a larger reach and therefore can cause more damage. And that's why I brought up defamation per se, because whether they have a larger reach and cause more damage is irrelevant, because you wouldn't even be you wouldn't even need to test for damages for the case to succeed anyway, because it's per se defamation. That was the line of conversation there.
The only thing I would say against that is, like, it has been proven. In my opinion, anyone that has any kind of legal background, and
has President Sunday not read the log? Basically, President Sunday didn't read the logs. President Sunday couldn't even get through the Loxander video. And is saying all of this.
I implore any single person that has any kind of legal background to look at this for more than 2 fucking seconds. There is no way in hell that Noe is a rapist. Not in any instance, not in any capacity, not by anyone's legal vernacular other than Poppy's.
Okay, so I don't... By anyone's legal vernacular other than Poppy's, but is that not enough? Like, am I retarded, or is that not enough? Like, is it not enough for Poppy to think it's true? Don't you have to prove that it's a lie? So this is such a retarded statement. It's not. It's not rape by anyone's standard other than Poppy's. Well, yeah, but that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's the argument. That's what it would be in court. I fucking hate this person. I fucking hate this person.
When it's going to come to a suit of defamation, if you cannot prove that Snowflake raped her, the fact that Poppy is popularizing this idea that Snowflake is a rapist is going to come down to simple defamation. It doesn't matter what she says. If we cannot prove legally that she's a rapist and that this causes
simple
harm,
defamation.
which it will when she, transitions.
Google. Simple defamation. Michigan. No, we've not gone to the debate yet. Yeah, no, might have a case, but it's crazy that Malcolm is acting like it's a bulletproof case. Exactly. It could totally be the case. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say case twice. It could totally be true that there is a case here, but you don't know that. You don't know it's bulletproof, and you are leading someone into poor decisions if you act like it is bulletproof, and there's no way they could undermine it. DK has a point. Could we address that? Prove these nuts in your mouth, per se. Okay, there you go, Stylo. Malice intent is crucial. I'm fucking insane to say it's bulletproof. Yeah, it's very important to prove malice when you're alleging defamation. Okay, you're all getting banned. Everyone who references that now. I can't find anything about simple defamation in Michigan. Does anyone know what this is? Simple defamation? What is being referenced here? 1984. Simple defamation. We know, okay, you're retarded, Sashi. You are instantly timed out. Rewind the VOD. Come back tomorrow. Rewind the VOD. 5 minutes. We've been over defamation per se. This is now a different claim about a whole different thing. Defamation per se is not simple defamation. That is not what that means. There is another thing that's coming up here in this one case I'm looking at. A lesser offense is simple defamation, which is intentional defamation other than libel or slander. So that's still intentional. You still have to prove malice. Simple defamation isn't a legally defined term typically used in Michigan or broader US legal terminology. However, the concept of simple defamation might informally refer to cases that are more straightforward and perhaps involve less serious allegations compared to more complex situations, like those involving public figures or matters of public concern. So, retard, if you're still listening, Sashi, Literally, seriously, go on DJ Addy Pupils and look for the Kelly Jean song and follow the advice found within, because that's not defamation per se. You idiot.
And legally changes her name or whatever she needs to do in that process. When that comes back to bite her in the ass, where I can't get a job, I, can't rent an apartment, whatever. Like, this is like precedent where it's like, this is textbook libel and defamation. Like, there's nothing that she could say outside of, yeah, I fucking raped her, where it would rise to this level of like, well, you have to be careful what you say in public. It's like, there's already a sloppy paper trail of this existing for, like Lady Rain said, since 2022. This is not new information. And I don't think there's anything short of Noe saying like, yeah, I fucking raped her, where it would be any kind of like contingency in a court of law when it comes to this aspect of defamation.
So, if I can, real quick,
This aspect.
one of my major things that I wanted to do in coming to speak with you today,
What
in a court of
aspect?
law since 2022. This is not new information. And I don't think there's anything short of Noe saying like, yeah, I fucking raped her, where it would be any kind of like contingency in a court of law when it comes to this aspect of defamation.
See? This is terrible advice. This is the advice Malcolm is giving to this person because he can keep farming content from this situation. This is sick, man. Seriously. I hate people. I hate what I hate more than anything is people who act like fucking snake wolves in sheepskin. That's what I fucking hate. People who claim to be victims, claim to help victims, but are giving the worst advice possible. No, not trans people. Like, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say that would undermine a defamation case short of saying that you raped her. There's nothing you can say that would undermine your case. That's not true. That's just not true. That's such terrible advice. That is psychotic to tell someone while claiming to help them.
So, if I can, real quick, one of my major things that I wanted to do in coming to speak with you Sunday was the reason I speak for myself and I speak vaguely about the victims.
Can I
is
speak
because
very quickly?
Yes, please.
Sorry to cut you off very quickly.
Sorry, no, please go ahead. My apologies.
What if Poppy just fucking makes up something else?
You mean like she's been doing for the last 2 years I've known her?
Exactly. We have them in a room together. We know that Poppy's willing to say X, Y, and Z. What if she just makes up something else?
Then what if? What is his point? Wait, what is his point? What is President Sunday asking here? What if Poppy just makes up something else?
What the point is,
Okay.
if you keep engaging, you're going to keep going backwards and forwards and digging yourself a hole, retard.
Wolf of Mandalore, thank you for the resubscribe. Very much appreciated.
Of course, Stardust is struggling with the advice and how to not lolcow yourself.
Too long, and someone needs to summarize them. Then when someone tries, he would just huff and sigh and interrupt. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I mean, we're expecting her to. Yeah, what does that mean? Oh, what if Poppy makes up something else? Yeah, Sunday, what if? Like, that hasn't already happened.
Yeah, and how's it going?
Never mind, I'm too mad to lowercase being such a dick. Look, I wanted to like President Sunday. In fact, I even for a while was trying to do the meme where like I'm Joker to his Batman, you know? I really did. I wanted to like him. I wanted to, even though I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, I wanted to engage kind of like in a funny way with the guy, right? And this was like maybe a year or so ago. And I was doing the whole like, I'm Joker to President Sunday's Batman because I thought it would be hilarious. It would be a hilarious ongoing bit. But the more I kind of observed him, the more I found him very inconsistent in the things that he values and just downright like nasty, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. Like, you can disagree politically with Not So Erudite. You can disagree politically with Brianna Wu. You can disagree politically with Pisco. You can disagree politically with
it's hilarious. The Sunday Stardust Batman Joker thing that she tried to force for like a week. So sad, man. Honestly. Stardust, you are not toe-to-toe with Sunday in any respect. It's crazy delusional. Absolutely it's so insane. Well, yeah, I think Sunday even says that to her, that she's more like the penguin. Probably they probably be in the same weight class, true.
These different people. But when is it ever, and he tries to claim that he didn't imply that Not So Erudite embezzled from the Canadian government, but he very clearly did. He said he did the whole, I'm not saying that she embezzled money from the Canadian government, but it's curious that she has all this new streaming equipment. You know, he did that in one of his videos, which is very clearly, okay, bro, you're saying you're not, but you clearly are. You clearly are. And so like, you're willing to go so far as to email people from Not So Erudite's school, to call people and talk to people and go and gather, by the way, all of Not So Erudite's personal information in one place. And you can say that it's not, that's not doxing because it's all publicly available, but still gathering it in one place is that you're gathering it in one place in a way that it wasn't gathered that way before. And that's kind of fucking weird, you know? These are like, why go so hard over Not So Erudite, who hasn't done these kinds of things, you know, taking advantage of vulnerable people. Like the most you can maybe have a problem with her is that maybe you disagree with her charging money to help people find therapists. Okay, but she's still not taking advantage of people. If you want to disagree with that, Sunday, you can disagree with that. But like that doesn't call for you going through her entire history. Aristocracy, who is dealing with the immediate blowback of October 7th, who gets anti-Semitic hate online very frequently and has like a whole dedicated hate group, you know, following her around online. You're making fun of her for being, you know, emotional after the October 7th attacks. You know, you're accusing multiple people of fraud of their credentials, but God forbid, somebody who actually is abusive verbally and emotionally towards people, somebody who...
Sorry, I stepped away for 2 seconds and she started talking about fucking erudite. Oh no. Okay, let's hear this.
Kind of like in a funny way with the guy, right? And this was like maybe a year or so ago. And I was doing the whole like, I'm Joker to President Sunday's Batman because I thought it'd be hilarious. It would be a hilarious ongoing bit. But the more I kind of observed him, the more I found him very inconsistent in the things that he values and just downright like nasty, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. Like, you can disagree politically with Not So Erudite. You can disagree politically with Brianna Wu. You can disagree politically with Pisco. You can disagree politically with all of these different people. But when is it ever, and he tries to claim that he didn't imply that Not So Erudite embezzled from the Canadian government, but he very clearly did. He said he did the whole, I'm not saying that she embezzled money from the Canadian government, but it's curious that she has all this new streaming equipment. You know, he did that in one of his videos, which is very clearly, okay, bro, you're saying you're not, but you're clear.
He's definitely, I mean, he's not making a statement like, but he's definitely raising the question, isn't he?
Clearly are.
That's definitely true.
And so like, you're willing to go so far as to email people from Not So Erudite's school, to call people and talk to people and go and gather, by the way.
Yeah. I love it. By the way, friends with Flamenco's Flamenco's Tard Wrangler for like 3 years, by the way.
All of Not So Erudite's personal information in one place. Now you can say,
yo, we are currently beating Rhizome in viewership, guys. As Stylo said, can we get much higher? Guy, that's huge. Sorry, I'm so petty.
That it's not that's not doxing because it's all publicly available, but still gathering it in
guys, please remember to like, subscribe, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can to Mog Rhizome. Okay, if you hate Rhizome, remember to like the stream. There's 70 likes, but 300 people here. That's pretty crazy. That
people, you're gathering it in one place in a way that it wasn't gathered that way before, and that's kind of fucking weird, you know. You know, these are like, why go so hard over Not So Erudite, who hasn't done these kinds of things, you know, taking advantage of vulnerable people. Like the most you can maybe have a problem with her is that maybe you disagree with her charging money to help people find therapists. Okay, but she's still not taking advantage of people. If you want to disagree with that, Sunday, you can disagree with that. But like that doesn't
how is this all gathered in one place? Sorry. Well, isn't this spread out across like 5 different 200-page documents?
Going through her entire history. Aristocracy, who is dealing with the immediate blowback of October 7th, who gets anti-Semitic hate online very frequently and has like a whole dedicated hate group.
Okay, Eris also posts pretty insane stuff on Twitter though, doesn't she? Like Eris's Twitter posts aren't just, oh man, it's hard out here being a J in the current climate. It's like, don't you understand why we just need to nuke them all? Don't you understand? That's the tone of Eris's tweets. Like, listen, I like Eris, okay, from everything I've seen of her, which is not a whole lot, just debate panels back in the day. I've obviously got nothing against J's. I'm something of a J myself. But some of those tweets that I remember around October last year and November last year had a wild tone to them. Like a early Ben Shapiro tone to them. Oh, yeah. Erudite claim... Yeah, starts saying, Erudite's never done anything to vulnerable people. Bitch. You crazy? You crazy? What is the therapy finding service, if not that? That's literally what's being alleged, is that she's taking advantage of vulnerable people. That is the whole issue people take with it.
You know, following her around online. You're making fun of her for being, you know, emotional after the October 7th attacks. You know, you're accusing multiple people of fraud of their credentials, but God forbid, somebody who actually is abusive verbally and emotionally towards people, somebody who
Yeah, Tuna Chip was saying that you felt like he should probably end it in Spicy Chat, and people were poking and prodding him for it a little bit, and then Erudite came in to shepherd him off into a private call so that she could talk him off the ledge, and then said how we were all terrible people for laughing at him in a VC.
Has, you know, people have documented them being horrible to their child, even if it's their adult child. That's not enough for you to look into. You can go through other people's lives and gather personal information about them and question them, question their authenticity. But you can't question the authenticity of these two leftists.
Yeah, Sunday's just protecting the leftists. Dude, what is this argument? It's so delusional to think Sunday is like guarding Poppy and Xena. I don't know what this argument is or where she's got this fucking idea from. He's just giving good advice.
You know, you can disagree with all of these people politically, but like, I don't know. And then his retort to me is always like, you know, you've said these things, you know, in Discord. Yeah, I said things I shouldn't have said, okay? But bro, you were literally a Sargon fan like 3 years ago.
Oh my god!
Do we really want to play that game? I don't know. You
not a Sargon fan. Oh my god, he's dude. He was basically goose stepping. He was basically goose stepping. You are a Sargon fan. Oh my god, fuck's sake, dude. I'm so retarded. How did I just do that? Where were we? Where were we? Dude. Okay, we're around here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can disagree politically with
okay, here we go.
3 years ago. Like, do we really want to play that game? I don't know. You've probably done your own shit that it hasn't been saved, you know? Years ago. That's not enough for you to look into. You can go through other people's lives and gather personal information about them and question them, question their authenticity. But you can't question the authenticity of these two leftists. You know, you can disagree with all of these people politically, but like...
Yeah, isn't Stardust one of these people that's like, oh, we should give people a chance to reform. We should give people a chance to... Who cares if someone used to be alt-right? We should give people a chance to reform. It doesn't work if you only do it one way, Stardust. If you only do it for people you like. When they reform into someone you like. If they've changed their views, they've changed their views. If just because you just still don't like them after they reform, that doesn't mean you get to discount any reformation. If that's what you believe in. That's so retarded. Once again, no principles, no standards. Just, am I friends with them? Am I friends with them? Does this make me money?
I don't know. And then his retort to me is always like, you know, you've said these things, you know, in Discord. Yeah, I said things I shouldn't have said, okay? But bro, you were literally a Sargon fan like 3 years ago. Like, do we really want to play that game? I don't know. You've probably done your own shit that it hasn't been saved, you know? Yeah. Like, also one of his things is like, oh, you interviewed Richard Spencer. Okay, oh wow, I talked to somebody big, bad, and scary. Yeah, I did. Okay? I may have said something
several times, palling around with him, having a jolly old time. Yeah, we saw.
Things online that were mean. I may have interviewed some scary people,
look at
okay?
these pictures of torches.
You know, made some edgy jokes I shouldn't have made. But I have never done the shit that President Sunday has, okay?
Like what?
I have never done it. Even if I politically disagree with somebody, I have never gone out of my way to gather their personal information into one place just to make a fucking hit piece on them. And then
have you not started
to try and discredit them?
Okay, you probably haven't called any schools.
So,
I win. They fucking lose.
Damn, dude. And you know, say what you want about Eris, like
that's how the world works.
You know, you can be pro-Palestine, you can be pro-Israel. Who cares, right? But like in the immediate wake of October 7th, she is somebody who deals with, like, she has a dedicated hate group. You know, like she has a dedicated group that goes after her. And you know, it's reasonable that she was fearing for her own safety because she's hearing people like the day of those attacks, like celebrating outside. You know, somebody she knew had to hide because of a mob that was going through their city. Like, yeah, it's
Stylo, Crisis King is much more relevant to the current climate and also more explicit than just that out of context Richard Spencer quote. Okay.
So,
also, I'm reclaiming it. I'm a J. He was talking about me when he said that, so I'm reclaiming.
Okay, let me resume watching this.
Okay. Then what? I mean, you can't really control her lying. The only thing that you can control is like the ramifications of her lying.
But what I'm saying here is
true.
At this point, like, all of this is so small and so esoteric. Nobody in the outside world cares or will ever see this.
What are you talking about? Plenty of people have.
I don't know why the
Oh my
recourse
God.
wouldn't be to
I'm so bad.
go after
Fucking
her
streaming.
license, say,
Which is
or to
in my
Yeah, and why isn't
Listen,
Sunday
Goy.
doing that?
in my
Listen, Goy, you don't understand. My God.
personal background
listen,
bubble, that's already in
Goy.
the works. But the point is that like she's being defamed publicly. So
You know, Sunday was trying to do that to Sunday was willing to go and contact people's employers. Why isn't he going that hard for this? This is objectively worse than what I've seen other people do that he's gone over or gone after.
So, like, why would you not, like, if President Sunday, if tomorrow you said Malcolm is a violent rapist, I'd probably respond to be like, dude, I didn't fucking rape anybody. What are you talking about? Like, it's the necessary back and forth of this kind of thing, and also the way that she weaponizes her platform to say, you know, I have all these people that follow me and support me and whatever, to kind of weaponize that and push back in the opposite direction. So in this instance where Noe has kind of emptied her toolbox of like,
The
do I leave it
video
alone?
audio is out
Do I
of sync because it's Malcolm's recording of President Sunday's stream while he was on the call.
say something? Do I try and pursue it legally? Do I let it go? Like, whatever. She's kind of at this point where it's,
You know, even if I do terrible shit, okay, I say terrible stuff, I don't present myself online the way that President Sunday does, okay? I don't present myself as somebody who's like morally superior and intellectually superior to everybody around me.
Stardust, you've literally been sitting here virtue signaling concern trolling Sunday for not taking the situation seriously enough. What the fuck?
President Sunday does, and for him to present himself that way and to be this dog shit at holding his principles is a disgrace, really.
it's like, okay, for
Yeah, imagine being terrible at holding your principles. Imagine that.
months now, I've been defamed and slandered. I think it's fair for me to like throw out a tweet or like give my opinion when Poppy's been like spurging on every fucking platform possible to essentially try and slander her, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Go on.
This is again something I do because
It's just here's the problem. Like, you guys are all in the United States, right?
yeah, not all of us. No, a lot of us
Well,
are sure.
Well, Noah's in the United States.
Yes, and so is Poppy, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Poppy. Yeah,
Do you know what's involved in the defamation case in the United States? It's hard.
it is.
It's really hard to do.
This is like textbook defamation, dog. Especially if she's legally trying to change her name to this thing that Poppy has published. Like I don't want to say doxed. That sounds heavy, but like she's published the name that she's willing to change her name to. If she applies for a fucking job and they Google this and this fucking article pops up with her face with rapist over the front of it, that's a slam fucking dunk, easy.
So if I may,
I mean, it probably should be, but like I'm not sure that's how it works.
It definitely is in America, especially if she has not been convicted of anything. This has all been like painfully publicly litigated. Every single log has been leaked. Poppy cannot shut the fuck up to save her life. She will continue to scream and cry from the rooftops that she was raped because she got broken up with. Like, there is not a single person. Poppy claims over and over she has lawyers that will defend this take. There's not one that would say.
Well, let's forget what Poppy says for a second. So is No getting advice from a lawyer right now?
I
have
don't know.
No clue. I have no clue. I did not come in here.
They've got a foolproof defamation. They've got a foolproof defamation case. There's no way this defamation case would fail, and there's nothing Noah could do to undermine it. So is No seeking advice from a lawyer right now? No idea. This is brilliant, honestly. You do not care about these people. I hate... Oh, dude. I'm seeing red. Dude, I'm losing it. I cannot stand people who will sit there and pretend they're helping and pretend they're like this amazing fucking person and will just lead people into their fucking slaughter. Just give them the worst advice purely for their own self-gain while sitting there acting as though they're helping them. That's fucking crazy. You haven't even asked this person if they've got legal advice. You haven't even asked that question if they've spoken to a lawyer. And you are on streams saying there's nothing they can say to undermine their own defamation case. This is so, what disgusting people, man. What disgusting fucking people.
To speak on behalf of. That's why I was making things personal, because for me, I have to draw personal parallels so that I'm not speaking for someone who is not here to speak for themselves, which I know people don't like when we do that, when people do that, but that's why I did that, because
I'm
I can't
I'm telling you just as a matter of fact, like, the odds of you successfully suing Poppy for defamation are very, very low.
No Flake has a fucking slam dunk herself. This is fucking
does.
insane.
When I hear the word slam dunk, what I think is this person has a case that will win.
Yes,
They have the
if
resources to carry through
if I Google President Sunday and there is a picture that I have popularized with no pushback in an echo chamber, and it is a picture of you with rapist over the front of it, and it impedes your ability to get jobs, it impedes your legal ability and right to change your name in this country. Yes.
But here's where you're mistaken. It's not enough to prove that this could speculatively cause problems if somebody saw it. You need to prove.
not
Oh, it
speculative.
absolutely, it's not speculative. Like, wait, it absolutely could. You are damaging somebody's reputation online.
Okay,
You
now, see, look. Oh, yeah, we're about to get a conversation about damages in a situation where it's defamation per se, if you've even looked into... Okay, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna have an episode. I'm genuinely having an aneurysm. I'm losing it. This conversation is so retarded. Making firm statements about the nature of whether this defamation case would win or not, and then you don't even know like the most basic talking points or argumentation of what would be involved in this.
Slandering a name before they're even able to legally change their name to that. A name that you know they intend to use. It absolutely is.
Damages that have been accrued already.
And I can guarantee that there have already been damages accrued. And
How can you prove it though?
Because what happens when you Google anything about her?
So you can't guarantee damages, but you should be making the argument that no damages would have to be proven because it's defamation per se. So you don't even know. They don't even know their own arguments. They don't even know their own side of this argument.
This is the first thing that fucking pops up.
But this isn't even her legal name yet. You see the problem?
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
In America, when you apply for a job, if I put Malcolm and then preferred name or whatever on a job application, if I haven't changed my name yet legally, that will come up on a job search. Yes.
Malcolm, my whole point of engaging with Sunday on this was that I had issues with how he was covering it and the statements that were being made. And
I don't disagree.
I specifically made things personal so that I could draw parallels without speaking for people who were not here to speak for themselves. And I chose to speak vaguely about the victims as a whole.
Transpersion wants to come on. Apparently, they
Fair enough.
about this.
I will say, just quickly, in defense of Lady Rain, I think that's something that I just listen.
You didn't even know what actual malice was. There was never a disagreement over actual malice. Find me the timestamp where I found out what actual malice was. I mispronounced malice as malish. But the definition we were reading was for, I believe, simple defamation. Or was it for... No, it was for defamation per se. No. It was when we were looking for public figure. A public figure must prove a defendant acted with actual malice in publishing a false statement about the plaintiff. That's what we read. This was looking at the relevance of being a public figure to a defamation case. And I was right about everything I said about it. That's okay. That's okay. Gunner, that's okay. We understand you're retarded. You can't track the conversation. You don't understand any of the concepts being spoken about. That's fine.
Vodka super chatted $10, slam dunk. Casey Anthony murdered her child, had the trunk smelling like a dead body, yet the lawyer got her acquitted. Imagine a defamation case, lower stakes.
Thank you for the $10, Vodka. Yeah, I mean, just anyone trying to claim that they know for sure which way this court case would go is so retarded. Even lawyers often don't quite know. They can make certainly way more educated statements and assessments about the nature of a case, but they don't know. They'll never know how it goes until it's actually tried in court. No, you didn't know the difference between a defamation of a public figure and non-public figure, which is the requirement of actual malice. Yes, but that is defamation of a public figure. My point was it's irrelevant because the public figure is the one doing the defaming. They would be the defendant in the case. The defamation of a public figure is for when the public figure is the plaintiff in the case. So you still do not understand what you're talking about.
Something that I took issue with, or I don't say took issue with, but something that I found kind of distasteful is like the idea that people aren't, like you had said that if this does cross into legal territory, which is kind of why I went down the no flake rabbit hole essentially, is that if people do want to come forward with this and share like their experiences and stuff like that in regards to Poppy, that like potentially in the future this might taint like any kind of legal action. And to an extent I agree, to an extent I disagree, but I think the purpose of this is like we exist in this bubble on the internet, right? And a big like hinge point of people coming out and talking about this is going to be that people know going into any kind of like relationship or community building or collaboration is that they are aware of the kind of people they're popping in on, right?
Can I just cut you off right there? Okay, let's stop being like armchair Machiavellis for a second.
I'm not.
The legal stuff is interesting. It's interesting to read about and learn and try to make assessments on the nature of legal arguments. However, it's incredibly fucking retarded to get on a stream and pretend you know what the outcome of a case would be, or that you know things for sure about how it would play out in court, or that you know what good legal advice is when you're not a fucking lawyer. That's, you know, I enjoy talking about legal shit. I think it's fun. But the idea that you would go on and make confident statements, especially when you're claiming to care about the people you're making the statements about, that's insane.
Has no, to any of your knowledge, tried to get a restraining order against Poppy.
I think, to my understanding, the last contact between the two of them, like, directly was in March. So I don't think it's needed. It's more of just, like, shit posting on Twitter or, like, talking shit on Twitter, right?
Okay. no should talk to a lawyer and should get a
Okay.
restraining order. A defamation suit is not going to go anywhere. I would be very wary of doing anything that would provoke this to expand further, because justice, unfortunately, is not going to be on your side in 99% of this. Hate to break
It's not
it
going to be on their side.
World doesn't work that way.
I just disagree.
Okay.
One red-blooded
So-
American to Canuck.
Okay, the part
I'm in a
that
country where it would be so much easier to make that case, and I'm telling you, it would be really difficult.
I ran my time around.
I do
home,
kind of
man,
hate.
I got it.
I do kind of don't appreciate the
By the way, I just want you guys to know, Malcolm Stunlock's President Sunday with Ultimate Combo Breaker. True. I just want you guys to know, just 4 hours ago, Poppy tweeted out porn.
The substantial truth doctrine is an important defense in defamation law that allows individuals to avoid liability if the gist of their statement was true. Defamation is a false statement of fact that harms another's reputation. Is rooted in the idea that people have a right to their good name and reputation. So the idea there would be that if the gist of the statement is determined to be that, like, if it was determined that the gist of Poppy's statement was that she went into sex thinking that there would still be a relationship, and then there wasn't. If that was determined to be the gist of the statement, that would be seen as true enough, basically. Yeah.
Okay, just 4 hours ago, she tweeted out some more furry porn that she's commissioned. Love it. Okay, that's how seriously she's taking this. Wonderful.
being condescending. I'm a 40-year-old adult that like watch people die for a living. Like I don't need you to tell me that this isn't how the world works or tell me to grow up. I understand.
Hey, you person who watches people die for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Okay, you're not scaring me.
No, I said I did. I was in the military. Anyway, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to say that you being
You're
condescending.
saying you got a special set of skills. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, real mature.
Okay, just to be clear, I'm just gonna put on my
What is
moderator.
that? Why are
condescending.
you
I do.
making light? Wow, making light of this. Wow.
I'm
What?
You person who watches people die for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Okay, you're not scaring me.
About porn. Okay, just 4 hours ago, she tweeted out some more furry porn that she's commissioned. Love it. Okay, that's how seriously she's taking this. Wonderful.
Problem?
Being condescending. I'm a 40-year-old adult that like watch people die for a living. Like I don't need you to tell me that this isn't how the world works or tell me to grow up. I understand.
40 years old. Whoa, that is rough.
Hey, you person who watches people die for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Okay, you're not scaring me.
No, I said I did. I was in the military. Anyway, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying
Sunday
that to say
one.
that you being
You're
condescending.
saying you got a special set of skills. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, real mature.
Okay, just to be clear, I'm just gonna put on my
What is
moderator.
Look, if you're going to pull out some like military experience as like a flex in a conversation to make yourself be taken more seriously, yeah, someone's allowed to jab back and be like, fuck off, retard. Watched people die for a living. Weren't they a medic? Aren't you supposed to help them live for a living?
Yeah, why are
Condescending.
you
I do.
making light? Wow, making light. Of
Wow,
this.
wow, making light of this. Wow, I can't believe it. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow, wow. Shut up, bitch.
Hi, Shadowrun Twitch.
Shut up,
We're going over
bitch.
the video where that, at least part of the video that Sunday deleted. Yeah. He's just so mean to Rain because she's emotional over the topic. Yeah, it's fucked up. Also, hi, Shadow. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let me just rewind just a little bit
It
here.
would be really difficult.
I ran my time around.
I do
home,
kind of
man,
hate.
got it.
I do kind of don't appreciate the being condescending. I'm a 40-year-old adult that like watch people die for a living. Like
Yeah, he is really condescending. President Sunday is very condescending.
Boo-hoo.
This is not new, though.
Order. A defamation suit.
Just like shit posting on Twitter or like talking shit on Twitter, right?
Condescending on a live stream? Never.
Should get a
Agree.
restraining order. A defamation suit is not going to go anywhere.
I don't. So I think that from Poppy and Xena, the defamation suit will go nowhere.
It's like if you don't like the guy because he's condescending, makes sense. It's disrespectful. But the idea that there's some substantive criticism of his coverage here when he's talking to Lady Raincloud, who is a nondescript victim of some kind that has not released her document yet. 40 years old, by the way. And Malcolm, who is a content creator, farming this situation and giving some of the worst advice imaginable under the guise of helping victims. Like, who cares? Yeah, he's allowed to be condescending to these people.
The one that they threatened against their kid. But from Snowflake, we don't know that. We have no idea. I see why it's deleted. Yeah. Yeah.
would be very wary of doing anything that would provoke this to expand further, because justice, unfortunately, is not going to be on your side in 99% of this. Hate to break it to you. World doesn't work that way.
I just disagree.
Okay.
One red-blooded American Dick Canuck.
Okay, the part
I'm in a
that
country where it would be so much easier to make that case, and I'm telling you, it would be really difficult.
I ran my time
I
around.
do kind of hate. I do kind of don't appreciate the
Yeah, I mean, Sunday's just obviously correct here in saying it would be really difficult to win this defamation case. It's really difficult to win almost any defamation case, especially in America.
Base Lady Raincloud coming in. I do not appreciate the condescension. Yeah.
being condescending. I'm a 40-year-old adult that like watch people die for a living. Like I don't.
Stafrex super chatted $9.99. Me, defamation require proving statement false. If accused, public figure, malice must be proven. Me his retractions exception, eliminates case, last, statute of limitations for filing claim, 1 year.
Retraction. Michigan law provides that damages may be mitigated if the defamer issues a retraction. Person A might request the person publicly retract the full statement. There you go. They have nothing. They're screwed. I mean, once again, chat legal analysis. No firm statements. But that's an argument that is coming through. Certainly seems like it's not as slam dunk as Malcolm seems to think it is. Or is portraying it to be. Because I honestly don't even believe that you could be retarded enough to think this is a slam dunk. I think this is just lying and coping and trying to press forward with a narrative and steamroll. Because I just don't imagine that you could be this stupid to think that any defamation case like this is going to be a slam dunk.
I don't need you to tell me that this isn't how the world works or tell me to grow up. I understand.
True.
Hey, you person who watches people die for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Okay, you're not scaring.
Snowflake is a private person. Isn't defamation a lower standard in the private person case? Yes. Yes. I don't know what is the bar for somebody being a public figure, but I would say Poppy and Xena are most definitely considered public figures. It would have been so much easier for him to have just said, I wish victims would shut up and ended the stream. Yeah.
Dude. It's so wretched. This behavior is so disgusting. How is that in any way what's being said? It is purely good advice. I had to ask a civil friend about the retraction, but Michigan's retraction clause is wild. It's also awesome. Cool. Sounds based. Greg Mumbai. I don't know of a person more wretched and pathetic on the internet than Lady Raincloud. Yeah, I feel like it's so rare. I feel like people who know of Lady Raincloud must be so rare now. Been so irrelevant for so long. She's an old head lolcow. She really is. An old head Twitch poll lolcow. You have to be a real one to know Lady Raincloud. Absolutely have to be a real one. Yep. Remember Debating Destiny? Classics. She debated Rarely a couple times. Debated Chud once, I believe. Actually, right now, Poppy has definite damages in her loss of employment if she wanted to go for defamation herself, as well as a degree, a license, etc. Here are Discord logs once summon Exodia. Well, I wouldn't... Again, I don't like making statements like definite. I don't know, whether it is simply the case that just because Poppy lost that job, that means that was damages as a result of the defamation, because I believe that job was lost due to Poppy's own Twitter conduct. That was the reasoning given. So, I mean, I wouldn't make a certain statement like that, but I would certainly say that every action they take against Poppy while making these public statements does bolster the potential for a defamation claim on Poppy's side. So yeah, once again, this is why any fucking lawyer, if involved, would say, hey, if we're going to pursue a defamation case against these people, which is apparently a slam dunk according to Malcolm, maybe stop making public statements and getting Twitter shit fights over the topic.
I remember the glorious 5 minutes in which President Sunday told people to stop.
Yeah, exactly. We have no idea, but it'd be so messy. Yeah.
Poor Raincloud.
Me.
No, I said I did. I was in the military. Anyway, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to say that you being
I'm
condescending.
just saying you got a special set of skills.
By the way, I just have to say, you know, people always make this like this false dichotomy to me, like you have to choose supporting trans people or like.
I just got a comment on my Femios video that came out today. This person's been advertised to me constantly through sponsored videos. I watch no content to do with this stuff, by the way. It's clear there's an agenda at YouTube. Okay.
Veterans, and it's like, what are you talking about? Have you talked to any trans people? Like a huge percentage of trans people I know all seem to be veterans, by the way. Why is there a choice? Like, what's going on here? It's not one or the other.
No. They're not. They're talking about Femios, not me. They're talking about Femios. They're saying they keep getting Femios pushed to them.
Like, how many fucking veterans are trans? Hello? Like, I literally feel like at least 50%, if not more, maybe 75% of all trans people that I know are veterans. You know? Like, but anyways, resuming back to this. Let me just rewind just a, sorry. Keep getting distracted.
If this isn't how the world works, or tell me to grow up, I understand.
Hey, you person who watches people die for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Okay, you're not scaring me.
No, I said I did. I was in the military. Anyway, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to say that you being condescending.
You're saying you got a special set of skills. Got it.
Yeah. Oh,
no, people have said that before.
Okay, just to be clear, I'm just going to put on my moderator hat for a second. I think the issue is that, like, Lady Raincloud, and I think this is a fair criticism, is like where you're saying essentially that, like, there's no value in No Flake talking about this or people talking about it because it could potentially muddy the waters in a future legal case. But the issue, again, is that, like, there are still people that are actively, like, moving in and out of this community where people are like, dude, like, people should be aware at least that this person.
Yeah. Malcolm is making a great point here. President Sunday's being just an absolute dick to Lady Raincloud because she's been personally affected by this and she is emotional about this. And I think that really shows his character. I mean, look at his fucking face right now. So, hi, Maya.
Be nice, Lady Raincloud. Be nice to Kiara Raincloud. Be nice to Kiara Raincloud right now. You stop being mean to Kiara. Get me out, dude.
How's it going?
Sorry, do we need to... Sorry, let's remember how Stardust treats upset trans people again. Oh, look, a video called I Made Jalen Cry.
Okay, here's what I have to say about Jalen, okay? This might be the most hateful thing I'm about to say, all right? But how the fuck are you gonna be claiming that you are a woman, identifying as a woman, and putting zero effort into socially acting as a woman, how women act, and put zero effort into sounding like a woman? You think a lady drops the N-word the way that you do? You think that having long hair is all that it takes to be a woman? How the fuck? I'm sorry. I don't fucking buy it. There are plenty of trans women out there who I consider women, okay? Jalen is not one of them. Jalen needs to work on it, okay? You cannot claim to be a woman when all you do is fucking grow your hair out, but you don't change the way that you interact with other people socially at all. You don't change you're still interacting with people in the most male socialized way possible, and you're dropping the N-word left and right. And you don't even work on feminizing your voice. Like, voice training, hello? You don't even try. Like, even if Jalen tried, I would, you know, give her that much, right? She doesn't even try. There are plenty of trans women out there who at least try to, like, do, their voice training and really feminize and all that. And they don't always reach there completely. But I respect it because they try. Because being a woman is about trying, okay? Being a woman is about trying. Being a woman is about fitting into a mold that you will never fit into. Being a woman is about is squeezing yourself into a box that suffocates you, you know, and being expected to like keep doing what you're doing even though you're fucking dying in that box. No effort, none. Wow. Okay.
Really, Lady Raincloud? No effort? None? Really? I wonder what Stardust's new viewer base would think of all that shit she's been saying. Of all that shit, her new progressive, comfy trans viewer base coming from the Poppy and Xena stuff. I wonder what they would think of all of that. I wonder how they would feel about that. Because they all look a bit like Jalen, don't they? Yeah, being a woman's about trying, and being a man is about succeeding. Oh, man.
Like fucking crazy, right? And you should be cautious if you're going to engage with them. That's kind of where I see the disconnect, at least between you and Lady Rain, and my criticism as well, right?
Tipsters on his shit again. I haven't taken a look at it yet, Maya. We're gonna look at it after we finish this. Right now we're watching President Sunday very shittily handle this, the Poppy Xena stuff. So, good, but YouTube's not sending me notifications of your streams. So the way that you would do that, guys, just so you know, you have to click the bell button, and it has to do the one where it says notify for the videos and stuff, or notify for everything. Like that's how it'll send you notifications when I go live. So, yeah.
And I'm not trying to say anything to scare anybody. I'm saying I'm an adult. I don't need to be spoken to like I'm a child.
I wasn't speaking to you like you were a child.
You were.
None of
okay.
these. Nobody knows who Poppy is. Poppy is not.
Yes, they do.
In the real world, she has no public existence. Barely a public.
What?
Figure.
Yes, she does.
She may as well be a
what?
rando, like Twitter commenter. Like for
She's
how
not.
much reach she actually has.
Okay, but that doesn't matter for people that are transgressing in and out of her community, right? Like it doesn't matter if she's a fucking rando. There are still people.
Guys, these people. This is delusional. This is totally delusional. This is a 10k sub channel. It's a 10k sub channel that gets 3 to 10k on their videos. Occasionally a video pops off. Delusion.
That are getting sucked into her orbit, and they should know, you know, kind of going into that, where if I just do like a quick cursory search, that this person has like some issues that I don't want to delve into.
Especially knowing that Poppy and Xena market their community towards mentally vulnerable people and people who are going to be most likely to have family issues.
And you say that when she had a Discord server full of hundreds of people in it, one that I moderated, one that also had minors in it.
Hundreds of people is nothing. That's peanuts.
Okay, it matters to the person.
It depends. Hundreds of people can be nothing, but it also can be very much something. Depends on the engagement in that Discord server. And from what I can see, it seems like that Discord server was very engaged.
Yeah, I just feel like it's total just delusion. Like can't see out of their own bubble. I sound like Brittany Simon now, but can't see out of their own tiny little corner of the internet. Everything revolves around Twitch poll. Nobody knows who these people are.
I wouldn't fall victim to her, so no one else would. Yeah, and again, here's the thing. Like, people have to understand the people who flock to those communities are people who are most likely going to have family issues, who are most likely going to have a higher percentage of people who've been disowned by their families. And you know, on top of that, you know, they're marketing this as a place for people who are mentally vulnerable. Like, yeah, maybe Sunday isn't the type to fall for that, but if you grow up with you know, a rocky home life, and you've already got mental issues going on, you're in a very emotionally compromised state. Yeah, you're looking for that solid ground, you know? No, Ciara, Ciara says, oh boy, that did end up being a huge mistake. No, I don't think so. I got mad at Sunday and I shouldn't have. No, I think you're fine, Ciara. I think
so we got another 40 minutes on this, and then we can get on to the rest of it. Whoa. Guys, we are watching this whole conflict, okay? We have to.
An absolute dick to you. He knew that this was emotional for you. He knew that you were personally affected by this, and that multiple people have been personally affected by this, and he was being a dick.
It's just, the behavior here is just so bizarre and wretched to me. Oh, yeah, open your wallets, open your hearts, guys. Open your wallets, open your hearts, okay? Hog riding needs your support, okay? How much does a hog rider unit cost in Clash of Clans? Hog rider unit cost, Clash of Clans. Super hog rider? What? What is this? A super hog rider? What the fuck? Yo. Yo.
person that's victimized. It doesn't matter if it's 100. It doesn't matter if it's 1. It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 6 or a million. Like
Yeah,
for the
we
person
need,
that gets stuck in
we need the gigahog. I need to add gigahog. Okay.
that orbit, it's a big deal that they aren't aware of this kind of bullshit, right? So it's fair for somebody to say, hey, this was my experience in this community, just so you know, going in, right?
How does explain this to me? How does a 1.1K viewed video on a 264 sub channel?
Well, this isn't the only thing that's covering it, right? Like, there's plenty of people that have significantly bigger platforms that are covering all of it.
Okay,
it's the point where, like, if you look up Poppy and Xena on like anything, their videos aren't even the first one that comes up. It's the point that like people are like acutely aware, like, okay, there's some fuck shit going on in here. I should be like a little cautious when I'm dipping my toes in.
And thank God for Melena's documents, because if it weren't for Melena's documents, we would not have that information.
Thank God for the Mystigal report. Or the Destiny report.
This is real shit. I know.
Like, what is the line? What is the standard for evaluating this stuff? At what point are you allowed to run around behind the scenes contacting all of someone's previous partners and collating information into a document to make a hit piece on them? At what point does that become okay? I don't understand the standard. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Oh, it's drama to everyone else, but it's real to us. I know it's real. I myself, I might be an entertainer and I might be a shithead online and I'm very annoying online, but like, and I am covering this like, obviously like it's drama, but like it is real. Real people are affected by this.
Look, actually skips over. Did you hear that? Actually skipped over that. I mean, it's drama, but real people are affected. I guess it's drama. Real people. So rancid.
You know, it's important. So, yeah.
It's really all it comes down to.
Okay, but people are going to be dipping their toes in advance of seeing that because...
And the people that are dipping their toes in are aware, at the very least.
Okay, I don't see how that really changes anything, though, because we still have the documents, we still have... No could have absolutely just... Like, the person, to be clear, whose intentions I'm skeptical of here or not, knows. Like, I understand why No is doing the interview.
Okay, that's a fucking lie, because you just said earlier that No shouldn't have done the interview, but okay.
Necessarily a good idea, but I understand why No's doing the interview. It would be someone like Victor Burns. Like, what is the reason?
Yes, this has been Stardust's lifeline out of total career death. I don't know how long it will last, because Stardust has been insanely transphobic numerous times, and her whole new audience is a bunch of tender queer trans people. Pretty wild.
Reason for this being a live conversation in which mistakes can be made. Why not, for example, just ask questions and then, you know, publish the results where you can curate them. You can think about what it is that you're doing, what the consequences are going to be.
Well, it's going to be reached.
I don't think Victor was thinking like that about it. I don't think Victor was thinking that way about doing that interview.
Part of it is going to be reach, of course.
Nah,
but the other part is going to be
Len, these aren't those trans people, though. These aren't those trans people. There are definitely some of those in Stardust audience, but she had those anyway. The ones that have come now are the types where it's like, if you make any statement about, oh, you should put some effort in to pass if you want to be regarded as the gender you're going for. If you make any statements like that, people like Lady Raincloud will lose their shit. This is the guy that says 24-year-old child, yeah. This is Malcolm, who was going through the document, just going, abuse, abuse, abuse. This is how you're treating your 24-year-old child.
Like,
for subscribers, there's
well, for sure, but look at the people that have been covering this. The people that are going over it. Stardust, me, Chud Logic, Kuihman, like a bunch of people have their hat in this ring. And again, it's not about large. It's not about large. It's not about large.
Oh, okay, I'm transphobic. Nice one.
It's about being able to get your foot in the door to say, like, hey, before you guys venture in here, this is a problem, right?
Okay, but hang on, slow down. Do you seriously think someone's going to go down the Kuihman, Xena, and Poppy pipeline?
If somebody looks up Xena and Poppy and they see 47 videos where it says Xena and Poppy's an abuser, Xena and Poppy are groomers, Xena and Poppy are this, that, and the other thing, whatever it may be, that might give that pause. It's not about like somebody with a massive platform like blowing the lid off of this like fucking, you know, sex cult harem, essentially. It's just the fact that it gives somebody pause. And that pause is what people are looking for. In the same way that, you know, if I'm a victim of Harvey Weinstein, maybe I don't have the leverage or the credibility to get this guy like fucking convicted or like ousted out of Hollywood. It gives somebody else pause before they decide to work with him. Where it's like, before you venture into this community, just so you know, there is this kind of weird thing going on within it. So you have a moment to kind of like catch your breath before you decide if you want to engage with it or not, right?
Yeah, okay. Trans person wants to comment. Do either of you know which one's her, I'm assuming her username is a Great Value Sephiroth?
It should be MZ Molina.
So Trans Persian is about to join. Okay, guys, Trans Persian. For people who weren't here earlier, I'll just pull this up quickly. Okay, so after Sunday in the debate yesterday, mocked Stardust for only making $15 all night. Trans Persian donated $300. Apparently, it's one of the victims in this Poppy story. Donated $300, saying, "Oh look, you win now. Thanks for standing up for us." And Stardust was like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem. I mean, it's content, but no problem. I'm standing up for you guys." Some of the most sickening stuff. I wish there would be a chargeback, but there probably won't be. The fact is, this is someone who is clearly deeply unwell and feels like they're being stood up for by this content creator, who is just the only reason Stardust is doing this purely cynically. She hasn't critically engaged with the documents. I've seen plenty of her coverage. She's not critically engaged with it. She's not come to a well-reasoned conclusion as trying to make the best outcome for everyone involved. That's not what's happening. Stardust is farming it. Stardust is farming it for content. It's purely cynical. It's blatantly cynical. Anyone can see it's cynical. But Stardust will continue to keep up the veneer of doing stuff for victims and willingly accept this money from someone who's clearly, you know, at least feels like they've been victimized in some horrible way and now is seeing some person stand up for them. I think that's disgusting, frankly, to pretend that you're on these people's side, give them terrible advice, and then accept their money while pretending like it's altruistic.
I think.
Yes, it's great value, Sephiroth.
All right.
I won't be able to hear her.
Why not?
Because I have her blocked. Let me fix that. No, I'm in. Hi, Rain.
Hey, how you doing?
I am alright.
Lady Raincloud was whinging in Sunday's chat last night saying the trans people Xena and Poppy abused are destitute. Great. Nice one, Stardust.
I guess. Okay, so,
Yes.
yeah, what's, I would like to offer perspective and context.
Apparently Rain's unblocking you, so just try and play nice.
Oh, sweet. No, I have no problem with that. I would like to help Rain write her document at some point if she would, is still amenable. We had a personal falling out, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to offer my services to any victims.
No, thank you.
Okay, so there are a bunch of different questions that got brought up. The first one I want to address is the pragmatism
Yes,
of
Jimberly, Lady Raincloud is the old head DGG locale that you were thinking of. Yes, it's from the panels where Destiny would crash them and debate her. Yep, that is the one you're thinking of.
that Snowflake did. It may not have been the most pragmatic thing to do from certain perspectives. It was a small channel, but you have to understand this was a small streamer who was covering the issue, reached out to Snowflake casually. Snowflake said yes. That was as far as that went. We can't control or advise what everyone does, and
I think
people
we
are
can.
gonna
I think we can advise very quickly. I think
Well, we can
We can't control or advise. Okay, also, I would add as well, you know, Victor Burns may be a smaller channel, but Victor is pretty tied in with commentary. And so I think even Victor covering it, even if he's a small channel, he is very, very tied in with commentary. And I think that brings new eyes to this. So
What? It's just like any reason to come up with. It's just like, how can I post hoc justify farming this for endless content while pretending to be in favor of good results for the victims? That's insane. It's just insane.
wasn't there a pre-existing Whisper network about Poppy and Xena? There was. Interesting. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know that it really, I don't really, well, let's just hear what Melina has to say about this.
advise, sure,
Yeah,
and I
so
have
I think
advised.
as a general rule, and this would be the reason why I'm even commenting on this aspect at all.
Sure.
Is that if a streamer specifically, if you're like a victim of abuse, and a streamer says, "Hey, I want to chat about this live in
Yes.
front of my audience," the answer is always no.
I understand, but to her, it didn't seem like that big of a deal, and that's why she did it. I personally would not have done it. However, I am looking at it as potentially presenting some value in the sense of giving her side of the story, because Poppy's been distorting her side of the story for months.
Yeah,
So-
and I think that's fair. You know, I think that's very fair. You know, part of the reason why I didn't reach out to Snowflake to publicly do an interview is because I didn't want people, of course, like President Sunday, to view my association and, you know, view any possible association with me, with her, to discredit her. That's part of the reason. Also, part of the reason is, like, I don't know.
Wow, it's almost like it's an obviously good idea to avoid interviews with fucking streamers if you're planning on pursuing a defamation case, or if you think you could pursue a defamation. Almost like that's a terrible fucking idea. Almost like you know that, Stardust.
Who's watching, and I don't want Snowflake to, like, receive any type of harassment or anything like that, you know? So, yeah.
So it does have that value, and it's a small channel just because that's the one that asked her. It really wasn't any bigger than that.
Why is the answer always no?
Because there are ways that mistakes can be made during live conversations. Like there's a reason I haven't gone on any streams before this.
Oh, very, very, very simply. And even in this conversation, by the way, just for everyone involved right now, I get more money in this based on how scandalous and bombastic it is,
Yeah.
which means that I have a direct monetary incentive to not be responsible with how I handle this and to endanger all of you three. Just so we're clear.
I
That's the
understand.
case for me right now in this conversation. Same with this Victor Burns person. There's a reason why Victor Burns wants the conversation and has
Well,
it on stream instead.
Do you think Victor Burns
Yeah,
makes
she's
any
like
money off of
so
this? Like,
empty-headed. It's fucking crazy. It's like I actually don't know if she's capable of malice. I mean, no, she is. We shouldn't give her that excuse. But it is pretty insane how stupid she is.
Like, the only person, I'm sorry, if we're going to compare who benefits off of this, off of covering this,
Malish.
President Sunday versus Victor Burns, I'm going to
You're
argue
banned
that
if
President
you
Sunday,
repeat
even
that. Yeah,
not
yeah.
covering this in the most
Poly
bombastic
banned.
way, is
You're
still going
banned.
to benefit way more.
It is the
For
biggest
example.
video on his channel, by far.
Don't care.
Okay, but like,
Do
the
not
point though is-
care.
But even
Females
then,
can rock.
Victor Burns is still giving a voice to a victim. Victor Burns is still incredibly sympathetic. Like, does it matter?
that like
I'm agreeing with you.
yeah, there is no universe in which this interview, regardless of whether or not it's all safe, great, she lucked out, okay. Regardless of whether or not nothing in it can be used against her, there's no universe in which this actually helps
Sure.
her for two reasons. First of all, because it didn't reach anybody.
No,
It
I
wasn't a
agree.
big interview with somebody bigger than Poppy, which would make sense.
I guess my main point about this is that the conversation about the pragmatism of it is kind of a moot point at this point because
It's
it's
already
out there.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's really, I feel like going back and forth on the validity of it is kind of a zero-sum conversation, and we should be spending more time going over the mountains of evidence that we have for their actual offenses. And I think that if you actually see the context for the months leading up to this, you will kind of understand a little more why she would have wanted to make her story told or been more open to that conversation.
Yes.
Right now, we're just
All
entering this
5
from a purely
females viewers are
contextless
viewers in a
perspective, just
frenzy.
objectively
Hell
speaking
no.
on the principles of being pragmatic when approaching things like this. And I think that the context does at least make it more understandable, if not make you agree with the
Are they doing a vertical stream, or are they brave enough to see their view count with a normal one yet?
path that she's taken.
Well, I think that the doc was already out when this interview was had. Yes, this is 4 days old.
Yes, it was. But
Yeah.
Poppy continues to distort the reason that we didn't go too far. You'll notice in my document, I specifically avoided conjecture on what happened in the hotel room itself,
Mhm.
because I knew that the main claim that Poppy was making was that it was rape by deception because she was lied to about the chances of the relationship continuing
Okay.
after that
But then-
visit,
but-
and we
yeah.
have plenty of context to prove her point wrong. I feel like getting into the he said, she, or she said in this
What,
case.
if I may very quickly, what context do we have to prove her point wrong? What do you mean by that?
No, broke up with her before.
That's the Poppy Emery 1 document. The reason that it's
Yeah,
massive
this
is because
And honestly, like, President Sunday is pathetic in this because he does not know enough about this document, and it's unfortunate that Melina has to keep explaining this to President Sunday. You know. Hi Victor, how's it going? I heard my name was happening. We're reviewing President Sunday talking with Miss Melina over this, and President Sunday is saying, "Oh, why did Snowflake do an interview with Victor Burns? He clearly would have some other incentive to doing that." It's like,
Yeah, no shit.
I guarantee that comparing Victor Burns' channel to President Sunday's channel, and comparing who benefits more from this, President Sunday covering this in a non-bombastic way benefits more from this than Victor does.
That's an argument for why his coverage would be better. That's literally an argument in favor of President Sunday.
So, he turned the whole stream into why did you expose them this way instead of talking about what PNZ did. Yeah, it's just crazy. My brain's being assaulted by Sunday's stupidity.
What was her point there? Sunday would benefit more from covering this in a non-bombastic, rational way. Well, then why not? Then why not let Sunday cover it? If he's got less incentive to make it bombastic, surely he's the best person for it.
Yeah. YBE, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Stardust clearly caught in the
Poppy
right
has this thing
audience
of saying
here.
that we cherry pick things out of context, which is
No,
really hilarious.
I understand. I'm just
Yeah.
very specifically on that point. What context do we have that disproves that?
No, broke up with her and said, "Don't
well-
come in and see me."
Well, that's the thing. And not only did no
Be careful there, because we're now very much in the territory of what do you mean this person sexually assaulted? Do you talk to them on
Yes.
Facebook afterwards? You see the problem?
Well, but that's the thing. The point of the Abusive Hypocrites 2 document and the way that it shows how things progress, not just directly after the incident, but in the weeks following, shows the allegations that Poppy has made, how she has changed her story over the weeks, and how her version of why she is calling this sexual assault and then rape are directly disproved by her own DMs.
Yes,
Well, I
absolutely.
think they're disproved by the fact that she's been pressured to justify calling it rape when no actual
Hey.
like.
Oh,
sexual
there's
assault took
more
place.
on that. There's more
Oh
on
no,
that.
I understand that, but
yeah.
like,
Well, I don't understand what Sunday is saying here. That they're disproven by the fact that Poppy has to prove why it's rape? What if there were no documents on this? Do you think that Snowflake would be in a better place? I don't think so.
But for a defamation case, probably, yeah. It's generally better to not make public statements if you're going to pursue legal action. Generally, yes.
Yeah, how is it a tour when it's one interview? Exactly. Exactly. Well, oh God, is he poppyguarding? No, he's not poppyguarding necessarily, but he definitely is putting a lot of criticism on the victims in this.
What? yeah, criticism on them saying if you want to achieve justice, if you want to get justice, what's happened to you, you're making wrong decisions. Here's what you should be doing. What horrible criticism. Oh my god.
Like, he at least mentioned that what Poppy is describing as rape isn't rape, but also he is also very critical of the victims, so. Yeah, don't give victims a platform to express their discontent.
I see why it didn't make. See
He's
how
deflecting instead of
fuck.
defending directly.
See why I didn't make it. Fuck.
Like that is already established by the fact that she has already.
I need a
clarified
coffee.
That she's just calling it rape because she doesn't give a fuck anymore, something like that. There's a direct quote.
But there's
One
you know,
sec.
more evidence is better when you're making a case, right? And we have plenty of evidence. I worked really hard on making sure that it was organized in a way that was sequential and understandable. It does jump out to the Poppy Emery one doc is huge because just it's so long.
That wasn't
to see just
reading. That was
how much
speaking. That was just
Snowflake
speaking.
said no and tried to tell her that she doesn't love her anymore and that she doesn't feel anything for the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Down. Give it a second.
Okay.
It's been really bad.
Yeah, it's been
what it is.
dropping out.
Thanks for letting me have the
Hang
conversation.
on, Rain. Nobody can hear you right now.
I didn't want them to. I was talking to you.
Oh, okay. Well, they might hear it then. Just be warned. Like, I don't know how much is actually going through.
Gotcha. No, I was just gonna say, thanks for letting me have the conversation. I'm gonna go. Good night.
Oh,
Take care, Rain.
Yeah, no worries. Take care.
I have a question. I know that not everybody can hear, and it might be intermittent, and that's fine.
Yeah, what's up, Malcolm? We haven't spoken.
Hi, Queen. I love you so much.
Hi.
Like, wow.
Thank you.
Everything I've read, I've just been like, this bitch is hardcore. Love her.
Absolutely.
I'm like, fuck.
Melena's straight up like gangsta. Like, straight up a fucking G, you know? So.
What a nuke. Just love it. And also, I will say, just to, stroke your ego for a second, when I read the document that you had put together about your experiences, I commend that you were the most mature person in that entire fucking situation. That, blew my fucking mind. I was like, Bobby has a master's degree, and here you are, employing more coping skills than I've ever seen in a just adult. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. It's art, really.
It's weird, because that first document was just like, that's from last August, and at this point, for a while, I didn't think, oh, hi.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Where were we?
Sorry. So my question, President Sunday, you had mentioned you would be kind of, I wouldn't say cautious, but kind of tiptoeing around the idea that there are people potentially on kiwi farms, potentially other people that are A-logging this information, where you would say hey, maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit. What would be your perspective where kind of everybody in the situation called a quote unquote temporary ceasefire, where it's okay, you're right, the thread's picking up, maybe we should all chill, but Poppy continued to go through that? At what point are you just kind of okay, well, at this point, fuck it, you guys are doing it anyway, do you have any kind of, I guess, what is your opinion on that?
So,
sorry. No, if you want to tell Malcolm my opinion on this, be my guest.
No, that's I want to give some context to that situation, because the Kiwi Farms thread appeared literally immediately after Spawn made their own Tumblr and started talking, and when that happened, everyone on our side was like, "Oh shit, we now have the attention of Kiwi Farms." Even though it's in the staging area, it's we're a bunch of trans people, most of us, and that's a scary thing to see pop up. And at the time, I was still undercover talking to Poppy, and I told her Kiwi Farms is on here, they're talking about us, they have your address. And she was like, okay, thanks for letting us know. Don't worry about us. We'll take care of it. And the thing is that there were several things that happened throughout my time undercover where I just thought it was mutually beneficial for all of us to be on the same page, because nobody wants Kiwi Farms involved. And we did a ceasefire. I got Spawn to stop posting. All of our people went quiet. Fesh stopped posting. Everyone went quiet.
Interesting.
And Poppy and Sage and Naomi continued to post. And Sage started posting things that were easily things that could be used to find her. And she's lucky that Kiwi Farms isn't terribly interested in her so much as they are in Poppy. But they just didn't stop, and they kept on making allegations against us. And it was this thing where it's okay, well, we understand. Well, that tells us that they just want to keep provoking, and they're going to keep talking.
Well,
at that point,
that's a good question. Sure, it's a good answer. But why would they want to keep provoking and keep talking?
Because in their mind, that makes them more of a victim. To Poppy, it's a badge of pride that she's attracted the attention of Kiwi Farms. That means she's a big deal now.
Yeah. Okay. So, is it possible that maybe the ideal situation?
Okay, we back.
Or maybe the situation, maybe the best course of action is to let her keep doing what she's doing, attract the attention of Kiwi Farms, keep screaming while she's her fist at the clouds, and give no additional information that would tip anybody off to the specific existence of the people around her.
Okay, but that's not what happened. Poppy kept going on, and Poppy's friends kept going on, and on, and on, revealing personal information about Snowflake. That's not what happened. I don't know why Sunday is proposing this situation that didn't happen.
They still don't. They still don't know if this person's spoken to a lawyer, despite claiming they have a slam dunk defamation case. Talk to a fucking lawyer.
Well, the thing about it is that she keeps doing that herself, and what we've done has not been to bring attention to the people around her so much as clarify the statements that she's making.
All it is that Melena was, doing was responding and setting the record straight. The only person who was actually making this hard for people in real life was Poppy and her crew. Lamau, it bears in repeating that the farms are not interested in the victims. They are interested in Poppy. Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of became evident, right? Like, pretty quickly.
That part I understand. But do you think that people in Kiwi Farms are really interested in those people, or are they interested in her? Because if
They're interested in her.
I think that's kind of the issue, is like they're spearheading her. So like there are people that are like approximately involved in this, and I think the thing that really set
Thomas, I'll forgive you. You might have just come in, but we covered the lawyer's cost money point already. Stardust is claiming to care about victims. They're all claiming this is a slam dunk defamation case. Malcolm claiming to care about victims. Instead of helping set up a GoFundMe for legal action, instead of looking for donations to give to the victims, they're instead simply farming it for content endlessly, encouraging them to continue releasing more information and taking the money for themselves. So the point is, it's a contradiction in the stated goal of seeking justice for these victims and the actions they're taking.
everybody off was the nuke stream about Spawn. And I mean, honest to God, like even if you do venture into the dark arts and what have you, none of these people are going after Spawn. Not a single person. Yeah. Not a single person is going for Melina. Not a single fucking person is going for like anybody in regards to this drama. So like, you know, if Keffels is like tangentially involved and she has a thread, they're going to do their own shit or whatever. It doesn't.
Yeah, Greg Mumbai. Are Kiwi Farms interested in a bunch of transgender, polyamorous, autistic people? It's a deep question.
Matter. But in regards to this drama in specific, on that thread, not a single person is like, we need a nuke Spawn. Not a single.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. That thread, if anything, if you want to look at that thread, the thread, you know, don't get me wrong, there is, you know, some, they keep doing their bit where they misgender Poppy and they misgender Xena, and I don't really agree with the bit, but that thread has been actually pretty sympathetic towards the victims of Poppy and Xena. And if anything, that thread has, you know, been very critical of Poppy and Xena.
Just doing a bit, guys. Just doing a bit. Just doing a bit. They're just doing a bit on KF when they misgender trans people. It's just a joke. It's just like, well, you know when you pretend to be a bigot? Because you're not actually. Because no one actually is, so you just pretend to be a bigot. As a joke, you know? That's what they're doing in the Poppy and Xena KF thread. That's what's going on there. So you just don't understand KF culture.
You know, you can look in the first page and you'll see the people in there typing like, hey, we may politically disagree, but we wish.
Don't get me wrong. I don't give a fuck about misgendering. I don't care. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, oh, KF are just joking when they misgender trans people. Like, no. They're doing it to insult them. They're doing it usually because they don't like them. That's what's going on there. It's not a bit. It's not just comedy, haha. It's like, no, I fucking hate you.
Wish the best to the victims in this situation. So, yeah, I don't know. Even if the farms were interested in the victims, they still have the right to speak. Exactly. Exactly. The farms has their standards and morals. They aren't going to go after Spawn. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, really large threads can get out of control. And we've seen that with multiple creators. But, like, this in particular, they are just upset with Poppy and Xena. Every single time someone corrects him, yeah, I know, yeah, I'm aware, all while being condescending as fuck, yeah. You know, using the Kiwi Farms argument isn't an end-all be-all to the fucking discussion. People have a right to speak their truths and speak their side of the story. It doesn't matter if Kiwi Farms is involved or not. I don't want to do the thing, but you know, as a mixed POC trans woman, I am used to older white men talking to me like this. I don't even know, like, Sunday probably has less life experience than you as well, and he's talking down to you. Like, it's fucking wild.
Single person is like, we need to find this Melina person. Not a single person is interested in any single person except for her.
Well, the thing about it, I think, is that at the time we have to remember that there was really no evidence published yet to the other side of the story. Kiwi Farms got involved before I published the Spawn doc and the Poppy Armor 1 doc and the Abusive Ignorance 2 doc. Those were essential. We've been working on this for a while. And really that was kind of the triple hitter that got everyone to see what exactly was going on, because without that, it was just this person ranting on Twitter. But now that we see just how insidious the other side of it is, now we understand.
I doubt there would have been this much criticism of Poppy if it hadn't been for those docs. I think Melina's docs really like changed things in this story in a way that they weren't, you know, going to change before. Oh, it might not be here, but he started asking Milena, how much time have you lost to this? I mean, why wouldn't you lose time to this when you're a victim in this?
Is it bad for you?
Understand just how bad they are, and that's made more communities safer. That's really been the main purpose from the start, in my eyes. It's been community safety. Getting victims' stories heard is one thing, but really my posts have been targeted towards addressing just how manipulative they are and how much they lie about how they're safe people to be around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but leaving that aside.
Leaving that aside. Okay, we're just leaving that aside. Okay, Sunday. Victims matter, except this one, guys. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just dedicate the rest of your life to fighting an endless Twitter war with insane trans people with nothing to lose? Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know, Stardust. I can think of a few fucking reasons, to be honest.
Yeah.
The people right now that Poppy is going after, people in Kiwi Farms and commentary community people who are sort of like latching onto this, they have no interest whatsoever in the people that she's going after. None.
Yeah. Most of us completely step back.
Okay, until the point.
How long they got left? You never know.
Right?
I get that. I did not have any say in that decision. That was no fixed decision.
I'm not saying you did.
I get that, but I just like, it's that thing where it's kind of a moot point. It's out there. It was like, oh, okay, I guess it
I
happened.
don't think it is though, because I think the point of talking about it is like, okay, guys,
sound like a parent.
Because there will be many times like this.
Hmm.
Maybe like we need to have a conversation about being careful about who you expose your information to, even if it's information as innocent and simple as just
I appreciate that.
account of things, right? Yeah, I get that you appreciate that. It seems like the pushback I'm getting is, well, you can't reason about that if you're external to the party involved.
Okay, here's the thing. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if the commentary community gets involved? I know that they're pretty apolitical and they have a larger percentage of like, you know, people who are generally like who don't give a fuck about politics, right? But why does it matter? When people in that community get involved and are able to look at somebody and be like, this person is nuts, and they're using their
sometimes that can be helpful, but fighting the abuse allegations, Jesus Christ, I need to stop. I'm like getting way too close to my mic. It's peaking. I can see it peaking. Sure, yes, getting some attention from the commentary community can sometimes help if you're making a public claim. Yes. However, you should go through the proper channels beforehand, because anything you do in the public can undermine actions through those proper channels. And getting proper outcomes from those real channels is always preferable to fucking internet justice.
Therapy license for bad, like, shouldn't that be stronger? Shouldn't that be a stronger argument in your favor? That people who politically disagree with you or who politically don't give a fuck still care about the fact that this person is being absolutely bonkers with their therapy license?
Okay. Well, I was mainly addressing continuing the conversation after Kiwi Farms popped up.
I was also going to say, if you want to roll around
different
publicly in the mud, that like people are going to want to come back publicly as well. And a big part of it as well is like, this is, you know, it's been ongoing for quite a bit of time. And it's gotten to the point where it's like there is, especially in the community that Poppy and Xena inhabit, there has been this vacuum effect where nobody has really said anything at all. And so the consequence of that is like, of course, after a while, you're going to kind of want to say stuff. And I will reiterate again that like, even if there was like a conversation to be had about the way that No kind of came out, or, you know, Melina, the way that you made the documents, or the way that Rain chose to come on and talk tonight, if there was a conversation to be had about any of these things, I think it's more so that people want a counter narrative to some extent to exist regardless.
The point is that doing this stuff at all is a bad idea before you've attempted to take it through the proper channels. Any of this, and the more of this stuff you do, the more likely it is that you are undermining those proper channels.
Regardless of what that looks like, it could be good, it could be bad, but the counter narrative itself is what people are interested in.
This is like such basic advice. This is so obvious to any like functioning adult.
Okay, but
also just also so people know, like, commentary might be apolitical, but there is a decent amount of also trans people in that community as well. So, you know, like, I just think if apolitical people, like, I don't know, it's...
Whereas anywhere that Stardust has friends, they're actually not bigoted. They're actually not doxers. They're actually not evil. There's actually good people. There's good people on both sides when Stardust got friends on both sides. When Stardust doesn't have friends on both sides, well, these are terrible, terrible people and something must be done.
Sunday's point is here. People can still have morals even if they politically disagree with you. So Weaponizing therapeutic methods against vulnerable people is something that causes umbrage across the political spectrum. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're having a distinction between the different arguments that we're making, because I think there's a different conversation to be had about me dropping the documents after the Kiwi Farms thread and no fake going on the
I think the docs are fine. I have no objection to the docs.
But you just did. What are you talking about? He's just fucking lying. Versus, I have no problem with Snowflake. I understand why Snowflake did the interview. I have no problem with that. Then finds a problem with it. The fucking idiot. Holy shit, I can't believe he agreed to a debate with me tomorrow.
Oh yeah, this would look amazing in court. This looks like something that would be amazing in court. So this is the person who put together the documents, trans Persian, who gave Stardust $300. Now the only thing stopping me from cutting off your only path to recovering your career is my own principles. Your license renewal is coming up at the end of May, isn't it, love? Wouldn't it be poetic if you lost your license exactly 1 year after you let Xena attack me? This would look great in court. This would look great in court. Oh yeah, this is amazing. This is the person Stardust taking money from, by the way. And doing the anime villain posting as well. It's just so ill, dude. So ill. Malish maxing. Yeah, this is looking like actual Malish to me. This type of shit is the exact reason Sargon won his case. Oh yeah, with Keeler, obviously, where she was saying that basically she was DMCAing it because it was making her look bad or whatever. Yeah, you just can't say shit like this if you want to build a case. It's just so obvious. Remember, guys, though, it's a bulletproof case, and there's absolutely nothing anyone could say in public to undermine it. It's bullet. There's no way it could fail if this went to court.
Then it's like, oh, I have no problem with the docs. I understand why the docs are coming. You were just criticizing them. What is going on? He can't keep track of his own fucking arguments.
I'm wondering what the argument is exactly.
The argument
and then he spends the whole rest of the stream complaining about the docs. OMFG, come on.
Is solely around everything else except for the doc. Once you have the documents out there that are contesting this.
Well, I feel like we've all kind of said our piece on that, and I feel like we all just have maybe some disagreements on how we philosophically view those things. I think it's
a philosophical argument, though. I think this is a basically practical argument.
Okay.
Which is like people were talking about, oh, the no interview gave details about like what happened in the bedroom that the doc didn't. Apparently, we didn't get to that point. But, like, that's precisely the kind of information that, for example, if No got the advice of a lawyer, she would not tell anyone publicly.
I understand. I'm actually I have obtained legal representation. I'm going to be discussing with them what's pragmatic moving forward for not just me but the other parties involved. So I don't want to get too deep into that conversation here.
Well, the reason why we're talking about that is that's why people wanted to jump on, because they were offended about me saying I think this is bad.
No one is offended. Don't moral flex Sunday. No one's more offended.
The big thing is like we're all like this is all going. I saw the conversation spiraling into.
The first person was offended.
No, I understand. That's yeah. I'm not going to comment on.
Okay, but she was like rightfully offended, right? You're kind of downplaying this shit. It's fucking wild.
How Rain responds to situations, but
even okay, she was emotional, right? Like she's been personally affected by this.
The main question was, have we gotten legal representation?
And I don't want anybody to be like, oh, Sunday has no emotion, because all of the fucking, the little mannerisms that he does on stream are just the way that he expresses his emotion. Okay, the way he's condescending towards people, the way that he acts like he's tired whenever he doesn't want to hear what people are saying, because that's another habit. He will act like he's tired when somebody's making a good point to try and dismiss them. That is him being emotional. It's just a different way.
The answer is I'm looking into that, so there's no point having questions about like the validity of this case, because that's going to be discussed with a professional.
Okay, well, if you haven't discussed it with a professional, if nobody's discussed this with a professional yet, then I think...
What are you talking about? She just said that that she's currently in the process of doing it. What are you talking about? What?
I'm currently discussing it with a professional.
Okay, great, but this is days ago, right?
The answer is I'm looking into that, so there's...
The way he's condescending to all of...
The conversation spiraling into...
The first person was offended.
No, I understand. That's yeah. I'm not going to comment on.
Okay, but she was like rightfully offended, right? You're kind of downplaying this shit. That's fucking wild.
How Rain responds to situations, but
even okay, she was
not going to comment how Rain responds
right?
to situations.
Like, she's been personally affected by this.
The main question was, have we gotten legal representation?
And I don't want anybody to be like, oh, Sunday has no emotion, because all of the fucking the little mannerisms that he does on stream are just the way that he expresses his emotion. Okay, the way he's condescending towards people, the way that he acts like he's tired whenever he doesn't want to hear what people are saying, because that's another habit. He will act like he's tired when somebody's making a good point to try and dismiss them. That is him being emotional. It's just a different way.
The answer is I'm looking into that, so there's no point having questions about like the validity of this case, because that's going to be discussed with a professional.
Okay, well, if you haven't discussed it with a professional, if nobody's discussed this with a professional yet, then I think...
What are you talking about? She just said that she's currently in the process of doing it. What are you talking?
So yeah, just starting to do it. months into this drama.
Talking about what?
I'm currently discussing it with a professional.
Okay, great, but this is days ago, right? All of this is days
Yeah,
ago.
that's part of why I got reached out to
Yeah, you'll know when you've upset Sunday. You'll know when Sunday's showing emotion.
a professional because I was like, we should have a conversation with somebody about
someone's
where this might go.
current then. But like in advance of that, given that none of you have any possible conceivable capacity to actually get control of the situation,
What are you talking
maybe
about?
the best course of action for everybody involved until such a time as you had actually like gone to people who know how to deal with things like this was nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I will respond occasionally on Twitter, but generally that's the action that we're taking at this point. We are stepping back. It's the forest fire has gone way out of our control, and there's no reason for us to try to like reel that in. I mean, the only reason I'm hopping on here is to provide clarification.
Okay, well I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump out.
Only just seeking legal advice. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem being on standby as you review the docs if you want to ask any questions for anything that might be ambiguous or things you're wondering about, because I know it's a lot of data.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not particularly interested in the child thing. Like my general understanding of it is, you can fill in the gaps. Is that
It's really bad.
Okay, we're gonna get really fucking upset here. I can feel it happening. I can feel it happening.
It's one of those things where you can know how bad it is, but when you actually see how bad it is, it's sickening.
Is okay? Maybe you can answer some questions quickly.
Oh, before you guys start, I'm gonna jump. I love you, Melina. You're a boss bitch. Slay queen. I love you so much.
Rude.
Sunday,
you're
your
a
hair
boss
looks
bitch.
goofy right now, but I love
You're a
you.
boss
Okay, bye,
bitch.
guys.
Way nicer than Sunday deserved.
Insufferable
all-
people. Some of the worst people in existence, truly.